Hey, everybody.
Hello. We're here to talk
everyone.
shit. It's annual Monday shit talking day.
It is. And we have so much shit to talk today.
We have so much shit to talk.
I'm
so excited. I just want to say, right off the top, we actually already have a super chat. So thank you guys already. We're so happy to be here with you guys. I just want to say a quick thank you to Connor Cunningham for the super chat. The show keeps getting better. Love this episode and the show's version of the Alicent, Christian, and Rhaenyra fallout. Can anyone have a normal and non-murder full wedding? Nope.
Yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, not many. I think besides like Marjorie and Tommen and maybe Sansa and Tyrion, but that was like almost murdery because Tyrion was kind of wilding a little bit, and he got real lucky. His daddy was there to kind of like reel Joffrey in, but like,
I mean, that by Dothraki standards, it's still really boring. So I guess
it wasn't so fair.
I concur.
But just so you guys know, if you guys weren't here last week, we're going to try to do our best to limit book spoilers, or I should say, we're going to kind of unload the spoiler clip at the very end of this episode for like predictions and what to expect and maybe stuff that they left out of the book. So, you know, if you're looking to not be spoiled, the end of the episode is where we're really going to unleash that, just so you guys have a heads up. But yeah, anything off the top you guys want to say before we like dive into this?
If you didn't watch my breakdown, go watch my breakdown. That's
all. It's
It's
linked in the description down below. Definitely watch it. I actually have a video in the works. Going to be dropping hopefully between tomorrow and Wednesday. It's going to kind of explain. It's going to be a very spoiler-filled episode video about what's probably going to happen between that 10-year gap between episodes 5 and 6, but we'll talk about that a little bit more towards the end of this episode when we get like to predictions and all that good stuff. But I don't know, how'd you guys feel about this episode? I liked it.
So I love the episode, but I felt like the ending kind of fell a little flat. Kind of fell a little flat to me because I know from now till from now until the next episode, there's like a 10-year gap. So I'm kind of like, how are they going to pick off where that shit left off? Because that kind of left off pretty meh.
it was very foreboding to me, like the ending of the episode.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
it
for sure.
was, yeah. That last shot. I mean, we'll get into it. They're laying on thick with that last shot, but
Mhm.
I did expect a little bit more from the ending of the episode. I guess like leading up to that 10-year gap. So I'm very interested to see how they start episode 6. Because I feel like I have so much more I want to see that happens like right after the wedding that we're not going to get, allegedly.
Yeah. I did a pre-stream. I did a Tony Teflon's pre-stream live stream. He does it every Sunday at 6, I think. And we were talking about like the time jump and how he was saying like they'd never really establish Breakbone storyline. Like they do this little thing like where they dance at the wedding and he like his dad gives him like a little head nod and tells him to go get Rhaenyra, and he like beats a whole bunch of people up and gets her and like throws her over his shoulder like a He-Man, and I love it. But it doesn't really like where it's picking up at. It's gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how they segue into everything else with the things that they've already kind of left out, which I felt would have been like the necessary parts of segueing into the gap. But I don't know. I have faith in them for the first time in a long time because these episodes have been so good so far.
Yeah, I have faith in them too. I think they're gonna pull it off. But
I think
I
so
was
too.
I was hoping just for a little more Breakbones thirst.
Yeah. I was hoping for
Yeah.
a little more from that whole situation too, because we're just going to come back from the gap and it's going to be like, oh, okay, well, I guess.
He's a thing.
Trying not to spoil anything, but like, it's going to
We're
be
gonna get there.
real important when we come back.
Yeah, we're gonna get there at the end of this breakdown. We're gonna get into
Oh, yeah.
spoilers. We'll let you guys know when we're gonna talk spoilers.
Yeah, so you guys will be plenty warned. But I think there's a lot to cover, I feel like, in this episode. So I think we should just dive right on in. And so you guys know we're gonna try to take it by plot, sorta. Some things might be a little slightly out of order, but I think it'd be best to, start from the beginning, the very, very beginning, where it all began in the Vale.
Yes. Start there.
So we meet first. I just want to say the establishing shots of the Vale and Runestone are gorgeous.
So pretty.
Yeah.
So stunning.
So pretty.
But we finally get to meet the bronze bitch, aka Lady Rhea Royce of Runestone.
2.5 seconds.
Very, very short, brief introduction to the.
Everybody hyped her up so much.
They did overhype her
So much. And we got like, what, 2 minutes?
If that.
Yeah.
If that. And most of the time she was just being an unpleasant bitch. Even her cousin. She even kind of blew off her cousin. He's like, okay.
That face that she's making right there is that per my last email. Per my last email, I hate Daemon Targaryen. He's a fugly slut. No, I mean, I doubt Damon's given her any reason to like him. And I mean, he doesn't like her. He never is in the Vale ever.
Mm-mm.
They've spent their whole marriage apart. Like they have no kind of relationship. It's an arranged marriage. And he just like kills her just to kill her. Like he doesn't fucking want Runestone, for God's sakes. Like he literally just killed her so he could be free to marry again.
Right.
Yeah.
She was just an obstacle.
Yeah.
Exactly. Personally, I think he was getting rid of her because there's that the scene when she is with Daemon when they're talking right before this happens. But when she's talking with Daemon, I shouldn't say when she's talking at Daemon because Daemon doesn't say a word, but his body language, oh my God, Matt Smith's amazing. But she kind of pieces together why he's there. He's there to kill her because he wants to marry Rhaenyra, and she kind of gets that when she's like talking her shit.
Right, because she's like, well, are you going to kill the girl? and then the little puzzle piece clicked, and she's like, "Oh fuck!" You can see like the realization hit her, and then
Then pow.
and like literally, he just like reaches and the horse freaks out, and she goes squish. I love when he stepped on her arm. God, I'm such a Damon apologist. I love when he stepped
Such a
on her
mean
arm. I
bitch.
was like,
I love the way he killed her. Oh my god.
And then she's like, "Oh, you couldn't finish." I was like, "No, this is me last night screaming at my TV. No, bitch, he's going to get a rock."
And he gets the rock. And I was like, oh shit.
I loved it. I thought it was just the best scene. I loved it so much.
I would say the coolest thing about Rhea, and I'm not going to take credit for this observation. Somebody grabbed this off. I saw this on Twitter. Is her armor? They actually grabbed these runes from like these are like actual real runes that they use references for, which I thought was really cool. And you can kind of see
I saw
them
that earlier too. That's awesome.
That also with the veil, I did want to bring it up before I forget. I think this might be lamentation on his hip. So House Royce has a Valyrian steel sword. And I think maybe he's carrying it here, possibly.
I hate that they're making these Valyrian steel swords so basic.
I know.
I would expect a little bit more bling, but it is a first men house, and like I mean, look what they're wearing. They're not that fashionable, so I can see.
Yeah, that's true. Because ice is kind of
sword.
like ice is kind of plain, but then when you get into like Heartsbane and Lady Forlorn and these other swords, like I expected a lot more from Dark Sister and Blackfire. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, it looks so basic.
I was like, oh,
I expected a little bit more ruby, maybe some onyx in there, like make it like real, like
a little pizzazz, something.
Yeah,
very boring as far as swords go. They're very boring.
They are. It's pretty dull, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I would expect it a little bit more, but
I'm disappointed.
You know what? I'm not disappointed at this. But I think there's an interesting take. So that, like, obviously we know in the books, and I shouldn't say we, because not everybody here has read Fire and Blood. Well, I mean us, but in the chat, it's kind of left ambiguous whether or not Daemon was involved. So I kind of like that they made the decision that like Daemon did do it.
Like we all knew.
Yeah.
Like we all knew, but they never just came out and said it.
Like I'm not mad at him for killing her, and I also wouldn't have been mad at her for killing him. Like they both, neither one of them wanted to be in that situation, in that marriage. So it's kind of like,
I feel like
but
they should have got it annulled.
Can you do that in Westeros? Like, I don't think you can. Like, I don't know if you can. I know.
Well, the king can set aside a marriage, especially if it's not consummated. They discussed that before with Tyrion and Sansa, that she could have the marriage annulled since it was never consummated. And Rhea says this marriage was never consummated. So,
yeah, why didn't he?
Because
Otto would have never let that happen.
Fun version of events. That wasn't the fun version. Daemon wanted to go and do it the fun way.
I don't Jovi. I don't believe Rhaegar got his marriage annulled.
No, he has no grounds to annul his marriage. That was just the showrunners are just dumb because he has 2 existing children, and one of them is apparently his version of the Song of Ice and Fire. Annulling that would void their claim, so it makes 0 sense. I just think that was. If
he did marry Lyanna, then he just married her like Aegon married both Visenya and Rhaenys.
Yeah. Right. Just like Daemon said he wanted to take Rhaenyra as a second wife and then Mysaria as a second wife. But Gray, you were kind of saying it. I think it's because of Otto. Like, I guarantee Daemon brought it up multiple times. Like, can you just annul my marriage? Can you just annul my marriage? And Otto was probably like, no, Viserys, we can't do that because then he's going to think he can get away with everything and blah, 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 because I'm a hater. Blah. Like, yeah. I just don't like Otto. I don't like him.
I don't either.
Yeah, I hate him. I hate him so hard. Like,
and it's getting worse.
He's the reason for all of this shit.
I thought maybe it would be like, maybe I would start to feel a little modicum of sympathy or understanding or something the way I have for Alicent and God Save Me Crispin. But I feel even more hatred for Otto.
Girl, I don't feel for none of them.
Can we actually, like, since we're already talking, since we're kind of talking about Otto, and he's only in this episode for this one scene, let's kind of just get his punk ass out of the way because I don't like him. But I think it is so manipulative what he does to Alicent in the scene. Like the fact that he plants it in her ear, like, oh, you're the reason I got fired because you stood up for Rhaenyra. And it's like, nobody, Alicent was right. You're the reason you got fired because you kept overstepping. You're being a
Yeah.
habitual line stepper, and that's why you got tossed.
Yeah. Habitual
Who do you
line
think?
stepper.
Who do you think told Otto about Rhaenyra and Daemon in the brothel?
Miss Saria.
Massaria.
So he's still working with her, or she's still working for him, or whatever.
I honestly think that Damon like all of this, like Damon wanted them to see. He purposely took Rhaenyra's hat off to expose
Right.
her hair. So I think he wanted this to get back, and I think he knew. So either he knows that they're working together, and he doesn't give a fuck, or he knows that they're working together and they're both aiding, like she's aiding him in what feeding him misinformation or the information that's true that he wants him to know.
Yeah. Oh, can I bring up one of the comment here that I thought was actually very interesting about this conversation with Otto and Alicent from Vanessa Boguer. Otto had Alicent marry Viserys knowing that if she had children, there could be danger. He wanted this even knowing the danger. And this is in regards to Otto telling Alicent, like, oh, Rhaenyra is going to kill your kids. Like,
so about I think it's a very much so common sense to think that if this place has been ran one way, which is men inherit over girls, I think it's very reasonable for them to think that Rhaenyra would, as a girl, to secure her place on the Iron Throne, have to kill any male heirs. I, having read Fire and Blood, do not believe Rhaenyra would have killed them, but I cannot speak for whoever was to come next after Rhaenyra. So Rhaenyra's heir, especially if Rhaenyra's heir is a bastard, would have to kill the trueborn son of King Viserys.
yeah, I think that I get what Otto's saying because that is sound advice. Like, honestly, if she doesn't feel that way, somebody's going to be in her ear. And I love Daemon. Daemon definitely would have did those kids a big dead to secure Rhaenyra.
Oh, he'd have killed them. He'd have killed them right in their cradle.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my biggest thing is like, all right, you were already working your plan on getting kind of like how that comment I had just brought up from Vanessa said, you had already planned on getting your daughter in Viserys's bed with the intention of her marrying him. You are the one who pressed Rhaenyra's claim. Nobody else.
He did that with full knowledge.
Full knowledge of what he had planned. And it's like, so if you just waited out and actually put faith in your plan that it would work, which it did, this would have saved so many lives.
So the thing with Otto is Otto has always been able to manipulate and move Viserys in whatever direction. Like we see it time and time again, Otto moving him into this direction or moving him into that direction. And then he even tells Rhaenyra, or he even tells Alicent, Otto tells Alicent, you have to guide him to it. He won't find it on his own. So I believe, like, shout out to Alisha. She's not here tonight, but shout out to her. She had said before on one of our streams that Otto did that. Otto forced his hand to name Rhaenyra heir, plotted to name Rhaenyra heir because he knew that she was a girl and it could easily be undone.
Yes.
But he was wrong because this is the one thing that no one has been able to move Viserys on.
Actually, what I thought was interesting in like the speaking of moving Viserys on this, in like I always bring up the official House of the Dragon podcast. They had one of the EPs on today. I so sorry I forgot what her name was, but she brought up the reason why Viserys doesn't budge on Rhaenyra's claim is because of how much he loved her mother, Aemma. Like, Aemma was his, like, one true love, and he feels like because he didn't think Rhaenyra could do it is why Aemma died, and obviously his decision and, like, focus on having this boy is actually what ends up killing Aemma, and the guilt he feels about that. So he feels like by honoring Aemma's legacy and what he put her through and the fact that he is complicit with her death, that Rhaenyra should be that heir because that's kind of like the last bit of Aemma he has left.
Yeah.
So to honor her memory, he's like, I'm not budging because he loves Aemma. Like, Alicent, I think he finds companionship in Alicent, but he doesn't love Alicent the way he loved Aemma. And
no, she was a
Rhaenyra is
rebound.
that yeah, she's just a rebound chick. She was just there. She's cute and she's there. She likes books.
Well, he even kind of says that when he's like, she was a good distraction that was forced on me. Like, she did that really well, but she was forced on me.
Yeah, and Otto, if Otto was a good hand, and if he cared about the realm and all these things these high lords say they care about, then he would have been advocating fiercely for the king to marry Laena Velaryon. Period.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, I did want to get we got 2 super chats I wanted to get to real quick. From Ejovi Maester Otto. My child, kill the girl and beget the queen, a mother of dragons. Ha. I'm assuming that's referencing kill the boy and let the man
be born.
Yeah, I don't know why the rest of that slipped my mind. I love Maester Aemon. And then we have one from Count Balerion of House Tatters. Otto is Valyrian for manipulative, and I would have to agree. I think that is how you say manipulative in Valyrian because Otto sucks.
Maybe it's my accent. I thought Otto was Valyrian for a little bitch.
Marcus Jones sent a super chat.
Yeah, I was just going to go up.
Hey, ladies, just wanted to chime in. Rhaenyra also is the only one who knows the prophecy too, so Viserys can't afford to lose Rhaenyra as heir. And I almost lost my shit when Rhaenyra was on the boat and she started stumbling and she was like, Aegon forged the 7 kingdoms, and then Christian Cole just walked away. I was like, she was about to tell him.
I know.
Like
damn,
girl.
bitch. You pull a Sansa this early in the season. Shit.
Yes, girl, stop.
Like,
I know he put you in an awkward position, but you ain't got to spill like that. Jeez.
Right? Like shh, you're being too loud, Rhaenyra. You're being too loud.
But
actually, speaking of, actually, before we get into like the stuff at Driftmark, I did want to touch on this scene real quick. So, from my understanding, this is like, I'm assuming right after she leaves her dad, she's, going to the Godswoods for some, some solace. And that's when she runs into this little snake in the grass.
Could you imagine trying to get away from fucking Otto Hightower and his bullshit and running into Larys goddamn Strong?
Oh my God.
Oh my God. I would lose my shit.
She's got super Sansa vibes. Like, Sansa always like retreat was in the Godswood at King's Landing, even though there wasn't a heart tree by the time of Game of Thrones happens. But she was always in the Godswood, and she was always like isolated and lonely, and people were always preying on her.
And that's what happens when you come into this game young and naive.
Exactly, and expecting the best out of people when unfortunately, usually it's not how it works.
Right.
Yeah.
Want to know what
Larys is a slimy little snake right here, though.
I'm glad you said that. I'm getting big Garden of Eden vibes from this part, like the snake, and like rather than that being like an apple, if you will, but it's it's fruit, it's a flower, it's a forbidden fruit. It's from Bravo, so it's not supposed to grow there. Which I just want to say to everybody that's talked shit about lemon trees and Bravos.
Can I just say? I know we have talked about possibly like, okay, so I don't know if the chat knows, but privately I think we have talked about. I don't know if we have. I'm pretty sure we did.
I think on our stream we did.
Shit just be going on. Anyway, the Weirwood tree in King's Landing. We had talked about how did it get removed? If it's canon
yeah.
that it's there in Fire and Blood, how did it get removed? And we were talking about the possibility of like Baelor burning it down. There was a couple more possibilities, but what if it's Alicent? Because I feel like she's gonna go super fucking religious, super faith of the seven. What if she cuts that shit down?
Oh, her and Aegon do it together after the North declares.
Yes.
Oh,
That
Maybe.
would be crazy on screen.
It would.
Seeing a Weirwood get chopped down.
Oh, because the red sap would be flying everywhere. It would be like bloody.
Mhm.
It would be crazy.
I'd cry.
But see, what I got out of the scene in the top right corner is Laris planting these seeds of, hey, look, you have poison right here. And I think that that is going to be very important later on in Alicent's story.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna slip it in
So,
that hypocrite.
yeah, I think that's how it's
Oh.
actually gonna, and I think that's the way the wind's gonna blow.
I
And
can see that.
listen, I won't even be mad at her. I won't
I
even be
wouldn't
mad
either.
at
That's the
her.
I
part
wouldn't
that's
either.
fucking me up. Because, like, I have hated Alicent for years and years and years and years. And now I'm like, the scene, like, last week, I wasn't here, but, like, the scene with her and Viserys was so hard to watch.
Oh, yeah, it
Yeah.
was.
And I felt so bad. I didn't get to say anything, obviously. I was sick, but, like, I feel so deeply for this little girl who has just been thrown into this world that's nothing like she imagined it would be.
Mm-hmm.
If she imagined it at all, because I think that she was just secretly hoping that Viserys would choose Lena the whole time.
Yeah.
So
I
she could
think
say,
so as
oh,
well.
well, it didn't work out. You know, nothing ventured, nothing gained, but it's fine. And then now she's like, fuck, this is actually my life now. And she sees Rhaenyra out here having all this fun, and I think that's why she got so upset. Is
Yeah.
because her life is so fucking miserable. And Rhaenyra has like the opportunity to fuck Daemon, the opportunity to fuck Kristen. That's why she's so upset. She feels stuck.
I'm trapped.
I think that's part of it, but I think another part of it is that she kind of supports the old way. Like, even though she's a victim of it, like when you're trying to start something new,
Right.
even people that are victims of these things, they still will support it because it's all
Right.
they know. It's familiar to them, and what isn't familiar is scary. So I get it, but I also don't get it. Like, yes, I have sympathy for you. You have a very sympathetic backstory, but that does not give you, it doesn't give you a pass. It's not like you could say,
No.
oh, I'm a very sympathetic person and I've been through hell, so let me all put you through hell too.
Right. So I can be
Yeah.
an asshole now. I've earned it. No,
Yeah.
that's not how life works.
Yeah, and I understand the argument that people are saying because obviously in this scene, I just want to put up Swagger Dagger's comment. Laris was Varysing. Yes, he was Varysing and
He's
Littlefingering.
embarrassing so hard.
That and like
Little
a combo.
fingering. Don't say
Yeah.
it as a
Oh, that's
verb. That's weird.
yeah. That sounds weird now that I said it out loud.
He wasn't
But
fingering anyone, everyone. It's
no.
just, it's not
He
go
just
there.
was acting like Littlefinger, like Peter or Baelish. But with that him like, oh, I thought Rhaenyra was unwell because Maester Mellows brought her a
You knew
tea.
exactly what the fuck you're talking about.
Like, I
Yeah.
can't. He is such a snake in there. And I told you guys this last time he was on. He acts feeble. He knows exactly
Mm-hmm.
what he's doing, and he's
Oh,
very,
yeah.
very dangerous. Like, this
Yeah.
is a character do not underestimate
Yeah.
at all.
The wolf in sheep's clothing. He's
Mhm.
definitely the wolf in sheep's clothing. You see that he has a disability, so you automatically, like I was saying in the what is that, episode 2
Three.
or 3, where he's first introduced and he like sits down amongst the ladies.
Oh, he
Like,
sits and eats his little cookie.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not fit for hunting. Yeah, you just want to sit and hear what they're talking about because you're one of the king's confessors or whatever it's called.
Yeah, he's
And
fucking Gossip Girl.
I think it was him that was watching, because there's no way he knows about that tea unless it was him that was in the wall watching.
I agree. I'm convinced now that it was Laris watching the whole time because who else?
Yeah, I thought that from the get, that it was Laris.
Yeah,
Who
I don't
else would
trust
it have
him.
been?
He's just as smart as Tyrion. Like,
Oh, he's
Laris
brilliant.
Oh, yeah,
Laris is
absolutely.
very smart. Like,
I feel
you
like
can joke and say he's like Littlefinger, he's like Varys. He's smarter than them.
Yeah.
honestly, he reminds me, like, I feel like both of Lionel's children have different aspects of him because Lionel's very intelligent, especially politically. He's very politically astute. And I think that's where Laris gets that from, but Laris is more cunning and like not like in a good way, but cunning in a bad way. Like he manipulates people for his own advantage, where his father kind of just is like smart and kind of knows how to say things. And then Harwin's like the strong aspect of his father, like, you know, the physicality part of it, like the physical warrior part.
Mm-hmm.
Can
Yeah.
you put up Marcus's super chat?
Hold on, we actually have two more to get to.
Oh, we
that
have others. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, let me get these real quick. And I agree with the movie buff. Was I the only one living for Lena in her outfit? I'm so excited to see more of her. I am assuming you are speaking of this outfit, and yes, I am too. And we're gonna get to Lena in just a bit, as if y'all know me, I love Lena, and I have
Look at
thoughts.
her. That whole scene was just goosebumps when they
Oh,
walked
she's
out.
such
I
a
was like,
baddie.
oh,
She's such a baddie.
again.
I love her. Found my first cosplay. We also have a super chat from Emily Christina. We have to talk about the amazing job that the costume and makeup department did on this episode. Rhaenyra's wedding dress and hairdo were beautiful, and love the nod to their southern hairdo. Yeah, I did like her style in this episode too. Like, let me pull up that picture I have of Rhaenyra. You can kind of see her hair. I love that they put like the rubies in her hair. I like the dress, like the sleeves, like everything looks so good.
House of the Dragon X Euphoria. Like, just kidding.
Yes. No, like seriously, with the rhinestones, I was on
Yeah.
flashback. All that we were just missing was some like super cool eyeliner.
I was kind of mad that her wedding dress was white.
So this wasn't actually supposed to be the wedding itself, because
No.
they were supposed to have 7 days of like celebration, and at the very end was supposed to be the wedding. This was like the welcome feast, like like welcome everybody, it's wedding week, let's turn up, blah blah blah.
Yeah, I don't mean that her wedding dress was white. I mean, when they did Allison's like green dress moment, why wasn't
Oh.
she dressed in black and red?
Right.
Oh, instead, I think they're saving that for like a later, because you know how we've seen like some of the shots of them in like the black and like green, like like the older actors, like their costumes.
Maybe. So in Westerosi custom, when they get married, right, they wear their colors on their dress, and then the groom cloaks them in a cloak of their house to represent like taking over their family with the married in family, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
maybe they don't adhere to that with the Targaryens because she's not giving anything up.
I see what you mean there.
So they forgo that whole tradition.
Right.
Love that.
I like that. What does it say? We have this super chat from Marcus Jones. Y'all think it's possible Mushroom is Laris alias? Ooh, I see some parallels between him and Mushroom, and I don't think they're the same person, but there are parallels. I could see that. But then, explain him.
Yeah, who's
It's
that?
Mushroom. It's Mushroom. It's Mushroom. That's who. It's not confirmed, but in my head canon, guys, this is Mushroom, and you're not taking it away from me this time.
I think
took
that's
this-
Mushroom, actually. I do.
Oh, so LCH Jeremy 33 is saying the showrunners confirmed that was Mushroom at the wedding. Oh, let's
That's
go.
the Mushroom! Ah!
I literally, even if he never has a speaking line, I just want to see him like in the background of lots of scenes, just everywhere.
Same. That's all I need.
Just in the background, like whispering to someone or just watching or something.
Yeah,
I
I
need
just
that.
same. I'm very simple and very easy to please. Just give me that cameo. Like this is all I needed. Just like this, the wedding. He's just there playing drums. Like you didn't need to do more than that. Like that makes me a happy camper.
Oh,
I think he's gonna appear more.
I think so too.
Live Synchro said maybe Mushroom works for Laris. He's one of Laris's little birds.
Ooh, I could
I
see
don't
that.
know.
But I wouldn't like that.
I
Do what I don't.
so far, Mushroom been lying. So far, like if you go back and read Fire and Blood, Mushroom has been a lying little fucker.
I know, and he's the one I trusted more than all the other ones. Like, what the hell?
Right? I feel misled.
I do too. It hurts.
Mushroom, you're a liar. So that must mean
We
you're Peter's.
believed in you, my dude.
We
Yeah.
did.
We did.
But we also have another quick super chat from Shane52911. Is it me or did Damon walk up on Lena like sup girl? Yeah, I think it was
He's
a
like, guess
mutual.
who's single?
I think it was a mutual sup girl. Like, look at, because she definitely was peeping him at the table. Like she knew what she was doing.
Oh, they were eye fucking.
Oh, they were. They were. I can't wait to get into this when we get closer to the talking about the wedding. But I want to take this quick super chat before we get back at head to Dragonstone first. Not Dragonstone, Driftmark. But we have a super chat from Taylor. This is a little off topic, but show Allison gives off more Catelyn vibes than Cersei. Ooh.
Child. Now you just read the room. No, I'm just kidding, but true. But that's true because one of the big errors that these people do, because like to be clear, like I know I say a lot, team black, and in my breakdowns when I'm joking and stuff, I be coming at the throat of Allison, Christian, any Greens really, besides Helena, because I love Helena. But they're both sides are pretty fucked up. Both sides have done like fucked up shit. It's not like who's done the most fucked up shit. It's like when both sides are fucked up, you gotta say, well, who did the king choose? Who did the Lord swear to? So I'm gonna go with her. Plus, she's a woman. She's the rightful heir. Like, whatever. But what they did was instead of raising them children up together, they keep them separate, like dogs that don't get along with each other. How you got to keep them in separate kennels. Rhaenyra was on Dragonstone most of the time, and Alicent kept her kids in King's Landing most of the time. So they never got together to form these sibling bonds and love and respect for each other. And then we see how Ned does that with Jon. Ned, we see like him in front of the heart tree, and he talks about how he wanted to raise Jon and Robb as brothers. And even though Catelyn is telling Jon like you can't make him your heir, you're foregoing your sisters, like why would you do this, and he's a traitor, he's a bastard, like that's how Catelyn feels. But Ned didn't raise him like that. But these children were actually raised like that. They were raised not to fuck with each other.
Exactly. And it's like their mothers like anonymity for one each other just poured into the children, and it spills over. It's kind of like, well, damn, this is gonna be spoilery. I would say, shoot, if things went unchecked, they would have ended up like the Brackens and Blackwoods, just fighting generation after generation and not remembering why at this point. But it's just, they should have did it better. Especially, I think Viserys should have checked his own children a little bit more on that too.
Honey, he didn't even know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah,
like,
he's sick. He dying.
Like when they said, like he would make them. Oh, that's spoilers. That's spoilers. I'm not gonna talk.
Yeah, no. Let's get into Viserys being all sickly. So they pull up. They hit a Dragonstone because Rhaenyra actually wasn't unwell. They head off to Dragonstone. I love this ship. I just want to say that. I just really like the ship. It's cute.
The cinematography continues to be just stellar.
It's breathtaking. When they pull up,
the foreshadowing, storms ahead.
Oh, exactly. Right? So they go
this
right into the storm.
This episode was heavy on foreshadowing.
Yes.
They've been doing
every one of them. Every one of the episodes have been.
Yeah, but this one was like, we're done being subtle. Now we're just going to slap you in the face.
Yeah.
It was,
especially
it was real heavy. Especially the ending. Like, goddamn.
Oh, I know. And figured like what, they sail right in through a storm. And they're not going far, but like between Dragonstone and Driftmark, it's not Dragonstone, I'm sorry, King's Landing and Driftmark is not that far. Like
Yeah,
it.
it's across a slightly large bay. It's not like a voyage.
Yeah, that's why they're kind of taking this like smaller ship because it's not that deep. But Viserys obviously was getting seasick, and I thought it was super
No, I was
funny.
wondering why the hell they didn't fly. I was like, what? Y'all got dragons. Then I
And I
realized
think,
his sick ass was on board. Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, I was thinking that too. Like, why not send Rhaenyra ahead? But then I was like, oh yeah, because Viserys is like super sickly. But the fact that they offer, like, somebody offers him a bucket to throw up, and he's like, no, no, I'm good, and then just throws up over the rail. I'm like, Viserys, you're
you
mad sick. Can
raggedy
you?
bitch.
But my thing is he just keeps refusing help. Like people keep trying to help him with his ailments, and he's like, "No, I got it. I'm good."
You know who he reminds me of? Samuel Tarly. Like
Wait.
but stupider. But I just remember like Samuel Tarly and his voyage with Maester Aemon and him
Oh,
like
the cinnamon wind.
yes, like I don't know. I feel like
Oh,
I kind of feel a parallel there.
I can see it.
cinnamon. We even talk about cinnamon a little bit.
Cinnamon wind.
Oh yeah, we do talk about cinnamon in a little bit. But let's get into there. So they pull up to they arrive to high tide. You know, it's the hand, we got the king, we got Rhaenyra, we got Sir Crispin, and we got our boy Sir Harold Westerling, the Lord Commander. Which I just want to say I'm kind of glad that they kind of are keeping him around a lot longer than his book counterpart.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. But they pull up, and rather than Corlys being there to greet them, it's Lena who looks gorgeous. I just want to throw that out there. She looks so pretty. I love that she's wearing her house colors. Like
It
I
was such a
just
power move, though.
it was such a power move to have her
It
be the one to greet
was.
them. And
Yeah.
I forgot to pull up a screenshot, but before they even see Lena, they do see Joffrey and Lenor sparring in the yard.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's just like
Jaw.
I don't think people realize how much of an insult it was to House Valerian to choose
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah.
to choose House Hightower over them because one, they have fucking dragons. They're like, you guys share the same bloodline. You guys like House Valerian has like the biggest naval ships in all the biggest navy in all of Westeros, and their wealth is unmatched. Like even House Lannister cannot match the wealth of House Valerian. So for you to say, "Oh yeah, no, I'm gonna go with this girl who can offer me nothing,"
The daughter of a
Right.
second son at that. So not even
Yeah.
like the Lord's daughter. Like
yeah.
Right. You're literally gaining nothing from this.
But
zilch.
well,
Politically, obviously. I mean, if he loved her, he loved her. But like politically, he gained nothing from his union with Allison.
No. And I thought it was interesting how Lionel kept bringing up the fact that, oh, like, where's Lord Corlys? Why is he not here to greet the king? Like, that's really disrespectful. Because if, like, say we compare that to Robert arriving in King's Landing, we have the entirety of the Stark family. Their whole household is all waiting in the yard, ready for Robert to arrive. Obviously, Arya, like, runs it a little late, but, like, you get the gist. They're all together. But Corlys is like, could not be bothered to come outside. He's like, nah, he can come see me.
Right. Like imagine if Ned, when Robert showed up, was just like sitting in his parlor
Yeah.
and made the king come to him. Like that, no, that would not have flown at all. But it was a power move and a half for Corlys to sit there and be like, "Oh yeah, I just got it. And I came in here to greet you." And then he, even when Viserys walked through the doors, he made sure that Viserys saw him sitting in his driftwood throne. And then after he took a couple of steps in the door, then Corlys stood up and greeted him. And he paused before he knelt too. The whole thing was a power move.
Yeah. And then
Like,
as
I
soon
offered this to you on a platter and you slapped it away, and now you're going to come and now you're going to beg. Go ahead.
yeah.
I was going to
great.
say, and then he starts coughing and he's like, do you want a chair? Like,
Right? Do you need to sit down? You look
like
unwell.
multiple times. He's like, do you want to sit? Like, you sure you don't want to sit? Like, and
Not gonna lie, I was comparing the food from House of Valerian, I'm petty like this. I was like, they had like at House of Valerian, they had like snow crab legs and shit. And at the wedding,
know,
they
right?
had like dry chicken. Like, what the fuck? What the hell?
They were
I
eating
can
good over
tell who
there.
cooked what.
But actually,
Exactly.
Rhaenyra, what didn't they really get married? They really got married at Driftmark, right? They didn't get married in King's Landing in the books.
I'm
The
pretty
wedding
sure.
was at
In the books, they get
Driftmark.
married in Driftmark.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because, like, obviously, like this whole like High Tide is gorgeous. Like the Hall of Nine. I wish I had pulled up more of the artwork ahead of time for you guys, but just like seeing all the different treasures, like you can kind of see like how we kind of had pulled up here, like this like shell looking thing. When I was so on Saturday, Alisha and I were on with Aziz and Ashea from History of Westeros for their kind of like pre-show for this episode, and they said exactly what this was called, and I completely forgot the name of it, but it kind of
Animite?
reminds me. Thank you. I could not remember the name of it. Animite.
Yeah. The swirly guys are called ammonites.
I feel like it looks like a Pokemon that I'm forgetting the name of. I'm not gonna lie.
A Pokemon.
Yeah, I feel like there's no Pokemon that looks like that, but that's totally irrelevant to this conversation.
He's like blue and white, right? And he's got like a swirly.
Yeah. Okay, see, you know what I was
Yeah,
talking
I know
about.
who you're talking about.
Corliss
what I'm talking
Valerian
about.
just out here catching all the Pokemon.
He is though. But he is. He's got
I
to
He's
catch
love
just
them
it.
all.
playing Pokemon Go. That's why he's sailing everywhere. He's trying to hit the Pokestops.
Hell yeah, he's hitting all of them.
He's got it. I love that. He's going to train them in the gym. It's lit. But we do get this conversation with essentially the marriage proposal, and I like the terms that they came up with where that
Poliwhirl, that's his name. Sorry, Poliwhirl. Thank you.
oh, thank you. You're the best.
Court
You
of
guys are the
public
best.
opinion. We love you so much. Thank you.
Oh, y'all are awesome. But so essentially the marriage proposal goes that Rhaenyra is the heir, Lenor is the king consort. Any children that they have will have the name Velaryon. However, their children will carry the name Targaryen.
Yes.
So it's just a brief Velaryon stint, and then it goes back to Targaryen dynasty. I'm assuming they'll probably hyphenate the names, something like that, if that came to pass. But I did like the fact that Viserys was very, very progressive in his whatever gender the firstborn child will be will inherit the throne.
Right.
So it
well,
looks
he
like
would look
he's
like a fucking fool if he stepped back on it and was like, well,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
as long as they have a son.
exactly
That he would have looked ridiculous. But I feel like this was a good conversation between them because, yeah, there was dick swinging because they had
Oh,
to
yeah.
be. But they were both, in the end, very, like, cool about everything, you know?
Yeah.
Corlys was like, no, yeah, cool. I was just checking. That's all good. And then Viserys was like, no matter what, their child, their offspring will be the heir. But like, my shit's not ending just because I had a daughter. Like, no more than you would expect your family to be uprooted by the offspring if they have a daughter.
Exactly.
Right? So like it was a very like productive conversation.
Yeah, and he definitely was leaning into his sentiments because he already knows how Corlys feels about the ruling of the Great Council of 101 and how Rhaenys was jilted. And so I was talking about it with two of my friends earlier that they hadn't read Fire and Blood. They've only watched the show. So I had asked them like, "Oh, do you guys know, like, just out of curiosity, why it was between Rhaenys and Viserys?" And I realized the show hasn't done a great job explaining why Rhaenys had the better claim. So for those that may not know here tonight, Rhaenys is the only child of Jaehaerys's firstborn son and heir. If Rhaenys was born a man, we wouldn't have this show, honestly, because she would have been the next in line without a question. It was the fact that she obviously is a woman that the whole Great Council of 101 ends up becoming a big old hullabaloo anyways.
Annie, and like to like further your point, they didn't. What was wrong about it is they weren't even voting on Rhaenys being queen. They were voting on could Lenor be king with his inheritance through Rhaenys.
Right.
It wasn't even really. It was more of the woman's claim can't exist at all in order, so Lenor can't inherit.
Right. They didn't do the Great Council of 101, I think, in my personal opinion, enough justice in where, like, it was originally about a female claim versus a male claim. And then right after that, we go back to the same, like, political issue of female inheritance. And the show didn't give that enough justice by cutting out Rhaenys in lieu of Lenor at the Great Council. And that was a little, probably more confusing for people who haven't read the books, because if you've read Fire and Blood, you're just like, oh yeah, they just, cut out a middleman somewhere because Lenor would have eventually inherited the throne, right?
Yeah.
So they just kind of cut Rhaenys out of that. But I think it was important to the storyline of Rhaenyra versus Aegon too, when it was originally basically Rhaenys versus Viserys.
And Queen Alysanne, since the moment Rhaenys was born, has called her our queen.
Right.
She exudes queenly energy. And I want to say what I thought was interesting. I loved her entrance in the scene when she just walks in and she's like, cousin. Like, it looks like she just came from like a fresh ride on Maylee's. Looks like she's in her riding clothes. She's so excited. The minute she touches Viserys's hands and realizes he's missing fingers, she's like, oh my God. Why did you let me touch you? Germs. It's.
I would not have kept my composure.
And you could tell she kind of has like a little almost like a lapse in her composure for like a quick second where she's just like, yo, what the fudge is wrong? Like, are you okay?
You're literally falling apart, my dude.
Literally. And then like you're hot, like hacking up a lung and like, just, do you sure you don't want a chair or some water, bro? Like, sit down, please. He was just, ugh. He was just all sickly. He was just like a mess.
He's a mess. But when someone is already that messy, it would be easy to slip them a little something.
That is true.
And make it look like, oh yeah, he finally succumbed to whatever.
Yeah, it's like, oh, he was just, not feeling well. You guys know he was sick. He's been sick for a while. Yeah, and I think it's interesting. They're just like looking at him like, I feel like she was looking at Lionel like, get your boy. Like, he's clearly not well.
Yeah, I think she cared. Like, I think Rhaenys and Viserys, like, they have a good relationship. Of course, they grew up together, just like Lenor, like Lenor and Rhaenyra grew up together. Like, all these kids, they're very familiar with each other. That's how Rhaenyra knows that Lenor prefers goose to duck.
I'm actually glad that you said that because I just want to say I called it that this scene on the beach was them kind of coming clean with each other and discussing the terms of the marriage. So I'm really happy about that. Not gonna front. Which kind of which I want to catch up on some of these super chats real quick before we really get into the goose and ducks of it all. From Dro the Gooner, that dragon punani must be fire. Sir Kristen Cole was tripping. Dang, man, just play your part, Sir Side Piece. Play your part.
Yeah, he went insane. Like, he lost his fucking mind.
He was at his
withholding comment until we get there because I'm gearing myself up for what I must do, and it's gonna hurt.
All right, we'll get there in a second. Let's just I just want to catch up with some of these super chats before we dive into this next chunk. We have another one from Saturn9. I hate that I'm sympathizing with Allison. I didn't sign up for that HBO. We didn't either.
I like that they're doing it because it would be a boring story if they were just like super fucking evil with no dimension to them. It wouldn't be like, what are we gonna make them, orcs?
Yeah, exactly.
And if you've paid attention to any of the A Song of Ice and Fire universe, you know that everyone is gray for the most part.
They all have their own
Every
motivations.
situation has nuance for the most part. Like, you can't go into these stories expecting it to be cut and dry. Like, we all knew we would have some kind of sympathy for Alicent. We didn't know it would be this strong. You know, I think it was on the episode when Chloe and Ileana were on, when we talked about the factions the first time. And we were like, we're probably going to feel something for Alicent, you know? But I think we just weren't expecting it to be this, like, hard-hitting sympathy, because there's a lot to feel bad for her about.
It has to be, in my opinion, it had to be this hard-hitting, because the shit that she's going to do going forward is going to be awful.
True.
It's like
they
a
had to
very...
make us love her.
So we gotta love her for, or I don't fucking love her, girl. I don't love her. That's
At least
too
tolerate
strong
her.
word. That's too strong.
Warm sympathy for her to make up. They're, like, preemptively making up for her deeds.
I empathize with her. I feel sorry for her. I pity her. I don't love her though.
Yeah, no, not at all. I just, that sucks, homie. Go to therapy with Alicent. But we do have another super chat from Ijovu. The king on sails with one ship. So the ship that they're taking is actually a pleasure barge, which is why it's not really that big, since they're not traveling that far, to answer that question. Only reason I know that is because I watched the behind the episodes when they were talking about building the set.
Right. And
I don't know jack about ships.
It wouldn't make sense for them to take a whole fleet across the bay. Like, I understand why there's only one ship. There's a large Kingsguard presence. You know, they have a lot of security detail on that one barge. So taking a whole fleet for, like, 2 people, because, like, really they're I guess the hand, but okay, so 3 people. So to take a whole fleet for 3 people is
excessive,
way overkill. Like, if Alicent and the babies had come, maybe they would have taken another couple just for stuff. But, like, it was just Viserys and Rhaenyra.
Yeah. And it's also, like, kind of a private thing. Like, it's not like they're going over there. It's not like they're going over there and they know they're going to be greeted hostile, or they feel like they're in danger. They know they're not in danger. Like, they know the sea snake would never harm them. They know Rhaenys would never harm them. Like, at the end of the day, quibbling and slights aside, they are family at the end of the day. So it's not like they need an army to go with them. And it's also, like, a private matter. Like, they're trying to get this marriage. They don't know what Corlys is going to say. They think he'll say yes, but they don't know. And they don't want it to be like, oh, the sea snake turned down the princess.
And now mad witnesses are there.
Yeah.
Right. And again, like, if we're comparing it to Robert's journey north, like, they went a really long distance and they took the whole family with them. So they had to have, like, a whole caravan of supplies and food and whatever. But, like, they went on a day trip across the bay. Like, it wasn't deep enough to pull out the whole fleet.
Exactly.
And then Corlys has the fleet anyway. So, like,
exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. We also have another super chat from Marcus Jones. House Velaryon acted like they weren't home. Yeah, they kind of did. They were like, oh, we were expecting company. Who would have thought?
It's my house on Halloween. Knock, knock. Everybody, hi.
But I want to before we continue with some of the other super chats, I did want to get into this scene with let me pull it back up. The scene with, the goose and the duck, if you will. So who's the goose and who's the duck? I couldn't I
will never see Duck Duck Goose the same way ever again when kids play that game. Be like, Actually, I really liked the scene. I liked the way the structure of the scene took place, because it was very much like, we know each other. We've known each other all of our lives. There's no judgment here. Neither one of us actually wants this, but we kind of have to. So let's just make ourselves and everybody happy. It was a very mature way of approaching the situation. And I respected both of them for that.
It was super progressive.
Yeah, it was.
Very, because there was like no judgment, and she's like, "Yeah, we like different things," and
Yeah,
Yeah,
I love
they're
that.
the mold. They're the mold for Marjorie and Renly. For sure.
exactly. She's more or less like, honestly, we just, do our duties by our parents. We have to physically consummate this, try to get some airs out of it. And,
Right.
you do you dine the way you want to dine, and I'll dine the way I want to dine.
And I felt like it was like that's book canon. That always felt like that
Absolutely.
was the way it
Same.
was.
Hmm.
Because there's like some things that happen in the future where Lenor had to be cool with it or the shit wouldn't have went down like that.
Right.
Exactly. And I thought it was interesting because in Fire and Blood, it's actually Maester Mellos that says something about like, oh, I don't really like the taste of fish, but if I'm served fish, I'm going to eat it in like the book. And I like how they
Yes.
kind of turned to the duck and goose conversation here.
Yeah.
Right.
But these shots on the beach were absolutely
Again,
gorgeous.
stunning.
Like so breathtaking. It's just so beautiful. And I really love this for their relationship. And I'm sad that obviously we saw the end of this episode went, but that it went that way.
Yeah, it was rough.
Because it was a nice promising setup. So essentially they kind of, as we said, they like come to terms. They'll do their duty, but they're still gonna have their, fun on the side. But I like how when they're having this conversation, we get that conversation between Corley's and Rainey's about essentially them coming to, how do I want to put it? Rainey's knows her son's nature. She's seeing the situation with really like realistic lens on how their son is going to be in danger, especially with Rhaenyra trying to come to the throne. Their son's life is in danger. Any children that they have together are in danger. Like this is not for play. This is very serious. And I like that she was like she seems very supportive of her children, even though Corliss was kind of like, "Oh, he'll grow out of it. He'll be fine." They seem to like each other, and she's like, "Boy,
Yeah, there was a few aspects to this scene because it wasn't just them discussing their children. It also was like Corley's absolutely showing how much he is for Rainey's always and always.
Yeah,
You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Their relationship is so awesome. And he was like, "Well, I wanted this for you, and I was unable to do anything. So now we have to do this for our children."
Yeah, he's such
I
a
love
wife
that
guy.
about him. He's
Such-
such a wife guy. I love him so much.
You can tell that they definitely have one of the only marriages that's actually based in love and
I
actual
think MJ, it was
compatibility.
you, right? You're like, this is what
Yeah.
happens when you actually marry for love.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
you can tell. You can
It's
tell they just adore each other.
and it's
Hmm.
political still. It's still a political advantage, but with love in the
Right.
mix.
He loves her enough to keep his
Hmm.
bastards about her face.
Yeah.
Exactly. I was just about to say the
Like,
same thing. Oh my god.
long as they had to wait. I can't even say that. That's spoilers. They had to
I
wait
love
till she would never find out before they came for him.
exactly. But that's why
Oh,
he's a wife guy. He respects
he
her.
is.
Yes,
Yeah.
He really
I
respects
love
her.
their relationship.
me too.
Um, so as this is also happening, we get that discussion. We get this lovely scene with Sir Joffrey and Lenor. Essentially, Lenor just telling, Joff the terms of the marriage. Like, all right, she said I can, do as I please, aka you. And Joffrey puts it together like, oh, she must have like a side
Right.
piece.
Right.
Hmm.
Like,
Like
well, if she
she
doesn't care what you're doing, then she's doing something too.
He's so messy.
he's
I
so
know.
messy. He's smart, but he's messy. I should say
Like,
he's smart. He's
bro.
observant. He's observant.
He
He's
is observant,
observant.
yes.
And messy as hell because, like,
Messy.
what if
He just
what if you were wrong? What
right?
Right? Like,
He
bro.
he's yeah.
if you were
He's got
wrong? You would have ruined her.
he's got more courage than sense.
Absolutely. Which I really want to get into this next lovers discussion. So Joffrey's on good terms with the deal. He's like, all right, so I knew you were gonna marry a girl eventually. That's fine. She said I can be your side piece. That's awesome. Cool with me. But Somebody doesn't take that very well when it's their turn to receive the side piece news.
Girl, and water is wet. And water is wet. We knew this. We knew
Can I
this.
just say he was all right when they said in the book that he was mad goofy and that he asked her to run away with him and he'll be a sellsword and they can just live in Essos. In the book, I was like, oh, that has to be bullshit. There's no way he thought that was actually gonna fly. And he did it. He actually really went up to the heir to the Iron Throne, the
With his
rider of
whole chest.
Cyrax, with his whole chest, and was like, yo, you trying to just be my like poor wife
Come be poor with me.
in exile. Like,
It made me
forsake
think of
everything you ever known for me.
it made me think of Jorah and what was his wife? Lady
Linus.
Linus.
Oh, Linus.
Hightower.
Mm.
Made me think of them. But it's like, bro. So first of all, Mushroom's version was that Christian Cole was so staunch in his chastity that he rejected Rhaenyra and she ran out into the arms. She happened to stumble upon Harwin Strong.
Right.
Okay.
So Mushroom been a lying bitch this whole
Mushroom
time.
been lying.
The
Mushroom
lie
been
detector
lying.
proved that was a lie.
But it's like
That one hurts.
a lot of the people that were like trying to ride so hard for Christian Cole last week, talking about Rhaenyra R-worded him and all kinds of crazy shit. They were clinging to that version of events. Like, he rejected her in the books. Like, like anybody, I feel like any woman saw this coming. Any woman that's ever dealt with a man like this, they saw it coming. Like, saw it coming.
All right.
Yeah.
I have a couple of things to say.
Oh, wait, before you say your things, I just want to make a quick side comment. Why did he walk up looking like Prince Eric from The Little Mermaid?
Girl, shut the fuck up.
All right, I'm done. On to serious matters.
He does look like Eric.
Button your shirt.
And he wants her to be his
it.
Ariel and give up her voice and whole family so she can get legs and walk on land with him. It's so fucking dumb. So fucking dumb.
Okay.
But that was a true parallel.
Yeah.
Again, I wasn't here last week, so I didn't get to weigh in on the whole Sassy Time scene. And I'm going to reference it for just a moment to the one moment that everyone was talking about when he paused before he put his cloak down, right? In that moment, in my opinion, he was making the decision to basically shit on his vows. Because as soon as he put it down, he turned around and swooped to suck her face off, right? Like, after he put it down, there was zero hesitation anywhere. Mm-hmm. And then skip forward to this week, and he's like, yeah, I can just get rid of this white cloak altogether, and we can run away and be happy. And like, yes, he was not reading the room, right? But obviously, he has feelings for her. And it was more than just, I don't want to like be your side piece. It was more like, I love you and I'm hurting myself in my position by loving you. God, I can't believe I'm sticking up for this motherfucker right now.
Ew.
And he thought in his brain somewhere, wherever it may be, that he would be able to get rid of the burden of breaking his vows if she agreed to run away with him. And so it wasn't just that he was losing the opportunity to be with her, he was also losing the opportunity to get rid of that burden of a broken vow.
Actually, it's funny you say that because there's actually a super chat here that you kind of answered it from Penny Rowe, aka my booty. What's up, girl? I love you. What do you guys think about Crispin asking Rhaenyra to run away with him? Romantic gesture, or is it guilt from breaking his vows?
Thank you. Okay, so I think a little from column A, a little from column B, but more so to the fact that he is feeling guilty as fuck because he knows that he basically, like, his entire position is now on a foundation of a broken vow.
Actually, I'd like to beg to differ on that broken vow. In the words of my boy Samuel Tarley, if you guys didn't know, I tweeted about this the other day. So for Kingsguard, it is not a vow of chastity. It is, I shall not father no children. I shall not take a wife. What it says about certain other activities is, open for interpretation. So I'm opening for interpretation. And if you just pulled out, you're not going to father any children. And if you don't get married, you're not going to be married. Therefore, you can technically still have sex.
I think
Counterpoint to your counterpoint. Fucking
Boom.
the person you're supposed to be protecting, the person you're sworn to protect, is treason. And that's why he's like, just kill me quick.
I mean, Jaime does it to Cersei, and which is still, that was not a good point, actually.
It was still wrong.
Oh, wait, I got a better one. Sir Aemon the Dragon Knight and Nerys. So what y'all got to say about that one? Not you.
Well, I do know, like, Sir Luca Moore the Lusty, like, he was like, they like fucked him up, and like he had like multiple wives and multiple children. Like he was out here living like a triple, double life, like straight up. But for me, like, the reason why I do not like Kristen Cole is because, okay, she slept with you, you slept with her, you guys had sex, you broke your vow. She broke, like, her, in her world, what she did is just as bad as what you did.
Oh, it was worse for her.
Like,
it was worse for her. She's a woman.
If she doesn't have her maidenhead when she gets married, no, like, as Alice
I wrote a
said,
lot of bumpy verses, I swear.
You would have ruined everything. You would have ruined, like, we see what happens to Marjorie when she's just accused of this, and Cersei when she's accused of this, like, what the faith does to them. So for him, like, at the point where he's done his dirt, she's done his dirt, both of them were wrong. Both of them shouldn't have done it, but they did it. Whatever. They did it. So what? Your body wants what your body wants. Passion, alcohol was involved. They did the thing. So
okay, it was more than that. Daemon knew what he was doing.
Yeah,
he was trying to get her all revved up.
Yeah, Daemon roused her. Daemon roused the dragon. But when she says, like, look, I don't want to run away with you because one day, like, the crown is going to pass to me and it's much bigger than me. And she's about to tell him about Aegon's prophecy. Instead of him, he could have just said to her, look, I fucked up by fucking with you. I have feelings for you, but moving forward, I can't fuck with you like that. Or I don't want to be in your company, whatever. Right. Can you just dismiss me from your service? She would have done whatever. She would have done whatever for him. Right. So for him to go,
there were definitely better ways he could have handled this.
So So for him to turn on her, like, we know he turns on her, like, immediately when that ship gets back to King's Landing, he's telling Alicent her business. So to him telling her that would not only kill him, like, if Alicent was going to, like, try to use this information against them right now, like, she could have ended this whole shit right then and there. She could have took it to the king. She could have said, he confessed to me. He would have got killed, and Rhaenyra would have changed the succession. I guarantee it. He would have changed it. I mean, Jaehaerys, we see what Jaehaerys did.
I was going to say, he probably would have pulled a Jaehaerys and Sarah and said, just get the fuck out.
Yeah. So
be spoiled. What good are you now?
It's like he's so hurt, like, his ego is just so bruised that she has the audacity to just, like, I gave this up for you. This is all I have, and I gave it up for you because I love you. And I think that if I marry you, I can make this right in my mind. And because she doesn't go for it, you just flip on her, go to her enemy, give them her secrets, kill her boyfriend or her husband's boyfriend at the wedding. Like, you're just doing too much. Like, you just lost your mind at this point.
Right.
Doing the most.
Yeah, like, you're doing any sympathy we could have had for you. Like, you fucking are crazy. You're a psycho.
No, like I said,
this is why you cannot give your
moment. Go ahead.
No, you go. I was
And
just gonna say this is why you can't give your cootie to everybody because they're crazy. It's some crazy
Exactly.
motherfuckers out here. Keep that shit locked up.
Clank,
but
clank.
this was the only moment that I had sympathy for him, and I was like, wow, he really thought, like, and I can see where that would be, like, you would be hurt in that moment, but then what he did with that hurt, I was like, oh no, yeah, that's why it's still fuck him.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
right there,
exactly.
because
and
it's still fuck you.
it's like for him to ask like all of this about like redeeming his honor, you're gonna like sully her honor by making her abandon her duty and leave her post. Like, how about we stop and think about other people for a second, Kristen?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I wanted to get to this next super chat before we kind of move on. From Leona Dawn, George said that Damon is one of the grayest characters. So far, he appears to be more evil than good. Any thoughts? I think Damon is a hot ass mess, but I love him for it.
He is a hot mess.
Listen, every story has its villain, right?
Yeah.
Every story has its villain.
I don't think
Damon
he's a
is,
villain.
I think he's definitely a villain to the Greens.
Oh, it's the Greens, absolutely, yeah.
It's like George has this quote, and it's like, to some he was the whitest of heroes, and to others he was the darkest of villains, or the blackest of villains, whatever, however the wording is. But it's basically like, it depends on what side you're sitting on. And it's the same with Tywin. Like, where are you sitting at when you're viewing what he's doing? So for me, I'm team black, unless it's Helena, but I'm team black. So to me, everything Damon is doing, okay, you're furthering House Targaryen, you're doing what you got to do for your house. I get it. But if I'm team green, I'm kind of like, ooh. But also, like, I feel like he has that younger brother that just wants to be loved deep down, and he's never gotten that. He's never gotten it.
Well, and he's never gotten it from anywhere.
He never gonna get it either.
I think he had it from his mom, and then she died young, and that was kind of the end of that.
I think he might get it from Lena. I think he might get it from Lena.
Maybe.
And I think, I'll talk more when we get to the spoilers.
Okay. We also did have another super chat I wanted to get to from Ijovi. Did you all notice Rhaenys' reaction of pride and approval when Viserys told Corlys that a dragon has and will always sit the Iron Throne?
I did.
Yes.
She's like, yeah, baby, because we out here.
She's like, yes, cousin.
Oh, okay, so Tasty,
so much.
I do too. Actually, before we move on from Driftmark, we do have another super chat. I wish I had pulled this and if I had seen it. There is an astrolabe in Driftmark. Think it is the one we see later at the Citadel in God. Ooh, I did not catch that, but I think that would be really cool. Either. Yeah, I wish I did see it because that would be interesting. I would actually like that.
Yeah,
because obviously we have like plenty of time before we even like get that far in the story. But kind of moving forward with the episode, they return back to King's Landing. So we got a wedding. Woo, woo, woo. Let's get to planning, and we see Alicent looking on. She's back in the dress.
That dress.
Her mama's dress, and she sees Viserys take a tumble because he's just he's just sick.
It was so funny. It was so funny. She was just looking down at him like, yep. My husband, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, that's your king right there. Look at him.
My father, the children of my father.
What's
the father of my children? What the hell did I just say?
The children of my father.
Which would be her.
Yes, her.
But Viserys, like, these maesters need to be fucking fired. Maester
No,
get the
Mellows.
leeches. You hear him when he's like, when Viserys takes the tumble outside, he's like, ready the leeches. And then when they get upstairs, he's like, leeches. And the guy's like, maybe we should try something. And he's like, the leeches have always worked. Like, is that the
Have
only
they?
fucking thing you know?
Mellows,
Right,
have they
like
always worked? Because why
that's
is he still
part of
getting
the
worse?
Maester conspiracy.
Yeah, and I think I'm trying to
Because the
remember where
other
he's from
younger
originally.
Maester knew that the
Orwell.
herbs would be better for him. Yeah, Orwell. He knew that those herbs would be better for him and help him more. And Melos is just like, no. Wait. We don't want to
Ooh.
actually make it better. We just want to,
Put Carrie's comment up there.
Oh, hold on. I'm not even that. Give me a second.
Oh, Kiri. I love
I'm
you,
so sorry,
girl.
guys. I am in like in a totally different space in the chat, so I don't lose super chats.
Because
She
because
said-
what if
She
they
said
are?
using his king's blood.
What if they're leeching him and using his blood for magic and shit?
Oh,
Because the Citadel is very anti-magic, but they use magic. That's like
Right.
they forge Valyrian steel links in their
They
chain.
got glass candles and shit. They can show
Yeah.
it.
They're hypocrites.
They're such
Yeah.
fucking hypocrites.
If they're not
Old
using
bastards.
if they're not using it for magic, I honestly just think that Melos is incompetent and he doesn't read up on the latest studies from the medical journals of the Citadel, and that's why Orwell, the younger maester, is like, hey, he has a skin condition. How about rather than sucking blood out, we just put something on the sores to help, maybe like do something about that.
Yes.
Which makes me think, I wonder if we're gonna get Gerardus at all, who's Rhaenyra's maester, or if they're gonna kind of roll him into Orwell in this case. But
yeah.
Interested to see that. But
And I mean, the red priests are so old. There could be red priests right now that are glamored as maesters.
ooh, that is very true.
Melisandre could be there right now. That bitch is like 1,000 years
I'm
old.
saying.
I could see that.
And
She's
Well, I think
older than years
the
beyond
actor-
count.
The actor did say, like, she was alive, so Clarice Van Houten, is that her name? Van
Yeah.
Houten? She's like, well, she was alive back then, so she might show up.
I want her to be Alice Rivers if she shows up. Personally, that's just me. But I was gonna say, with this scene, so you remember how it's like it was usually like Otto that would see the king in this condition because he kind of tried to keep it under wraps. We do see Lionel here, and Lionel's holding this little, I'm assuming it's probably some milk of the poppy to give the king before he goes to sleep. But I think this might be, when we get more towards spoilers, this little, because he asked for the queen first. Viserys is like, oh, where's the queen? He says she's indisposed, and he's the one who hands that. So it makes me wonder if Alicent is the one that usually hands him that.
I know Alicent is supposed to bring him a cup of Hippocras every night or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm wondering if it's like a milk of the poppy Hippocras combo, which is what this little thing right here might be.
Or tears of, well, it wouldn't be tears of Lys like Liza,
it's that
but
flower.
that's too fast acting.
It's that Bravosi flower that Larys was like, hey, look at this.
And then someone had commented about, because I had said, like, I think the maesters are trying to fucking kill him, and they're like, well, they're taking their time killing him. And I feel like, yeah, they're taking their time killing him because they want Aemond and Aegon to be grown before he dies.
Yeah.
Like with Varys, when they have these plans, these grand plans to win the Game of Thrones and to put whoever they want on the Iron Throne, they think about things like that. Like Varys and Illyrio meet, and they're like, no, don't do it yet, to stop them from killing the King Robert. We don't need it to be destabilized just yet. We're not ready.
And I mean, if Viserys just was suddenly dropped dead, it would look suspicious given the contention over the heir.
Exactly.
Yes. So if he's slowly toiling away and sick for years on end, then it's not a surprise when one day he just doesn't wake up.
Yes.
Because motherfucker's been sick for years. Of course he didn't wake up.
Right. Exactly. He has I've said it before, and I've been meaning to dive like deeper into this for you guys. He's giving me Henry IV of England, Henry Bolingbroke, the first Lancastrian king, who died of some
Mm.
version of leprosy that like slowly
Mhm.
like started leaving him disfigured and like rotting him out for like years. It's not like leprosy in the sense like that we think of with leprosy, but like whatever it seems like whatever is going on with Viserys is kind of what they're pulling from.
Yeah.
Maybe like a combination of leprosy and like tuberculosis or something with the blood coughing and stuff. Like I don't.
Gouty bitch.
Yeah, he's just like withering away.
He is. He is coming apart at the seams. But
But
like I said, if that was the plan, right? It was done really well
yeah,
because no one suspected that he was murdered.
Except for me.
yeah,
GrayArea.
Except for us.
yeah. Except for Irish City, I think we do.
Because I've always thought Allison killed him, but that was
Speaking
And
of
I
Allison,
don't blame her if she does. If she
I
kills
don't
him,
either.
I don't blame her.
I don't either.
Yeah.
You get a
Speaking-
thumbs up from me, girl.
yeah. Speaking of Allison, I want to get into this scene where this dumbass, she's clearly talking about something else, and he just inserts himself and just literally
Inserts himself like he's done before, and now we have problems.
Exactly. Now we have problems because somebody doesn't know how to like just keep their mouth quiet. God. Somebody
Crispin
just
6'9". Crispin
This fucking
6'9".
guy, right? I had a moment where I was like, okay, and then he just, oh yeah, I fucked her. Sorry, really, dude.
he's like, rather than guilt me, can you just give me a nice clean death? Like,
Just kill me
bro,
quick. Like
I would have
you're
punched you in
killing
your
me
head.
right now. You're killing me right now. That's what's happening.
He's
Goddamn.
feeling so sorry for himself.
I feel like with Allison, I know people have been talking about it as well online with him kind of seeing her as this almost like savior figure in like a religious sense.
Mm-hmm. Virgin Mary.
Yeah, like he's gonna have this because obviously we know Allison is very religious within herself, but I feel like he's gonna have that whole like she's almost like a priest and he's like confessing to her type of thing.
Yeah,
So then
he
it's gonna
sees
cause him to
her.
clean her.
He sees her as like the embodiment of the mother from the Faith of the Seven. Like that's how he sees
exactly.
her. And later in the episode when he's in the Godswood and he looks and she's like, Sir Christian, and he looks at her and it's like he's seeing God, and I'm just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't even think of it that way. She's definitely like, yeah, the mother's mercy.
Yeah. And now that she's kept his secret, like
kind of like blackmail almost.
Yeah, she's because
It was
she's
definitely
gonna
blackmail.
be
She got that shit from her dad.
Yeah, she's not stupid. She's not stupid, and the older she gets and the longer she stays in King's Landing, the better at this game she's gonna be.
Exactly.
But that was the quietest blackmail. Like it really
seriously.
was just subtle, and it was really like on her part really well done to just be like, all right, well, you can go. You know what I mean? And so he's just like kind of in this limbo place where he knows that someone knows now. And so he's petrified that something is going to come of it, but he also feels like he just got a reprieve. So, of course, that's going to bring him closer to her because she was the one that granted him that mercy. So it was really well executed on Allison's part. Bitch that she is. What will be. But they're just a match made in hell for each other, and I love that for them.
Uncle Edric said, all I know is I'm never committing crimes with Christian Cole. Me either,
Right?
bro.
Oh, he's a snitch.
Oh my god.
Like
he would
straight
snitch
up.
so fast.
Yeah. I was gonna say, before because we still gotta get into this wedding. So before we do that, I do want to catch up on some super chats before we really dive into the event, the event, if you will. From Curtis Roberts, thank you. Since you all read the books, how do you feel about the huge time jumps in the show so far? Complete opposite from earlier seasons of GOT. So far, I like them because figure it's almost like 30 something years of story they have to get through before like we really get into the events of the dance when things are going to actually slow down a lot more. So like I think they've been handling it pretty well.
I
was
think
anxious about it going into it. Not gonna
yeah.
lie.
I'm really interested to see how they jump from episode 5 to episode 6.
Mhm.
Like I'm really interested to see that because I want to see
Same.
how they do that, how they manage to pull that off because a lot happens in those 10 years. Like
Right.
people
A
that were
lot.
at the wedding, most all the people that were at the wedding are now married with children. Um yeah, lots of things have happened.
Yeah, agree. Oh, sorry. This next super chat I want to get to because it's like perfect before we get into the wedding, and I think this is a great question from Bizad Golden Hand. Do you think Allison and Crispin gonna come out and say Crispin killed Joffrey because Joffrey was about to kill Rhaenyra out of jealousy for Lenor? And I was thinking that because, all right, we're about to get into the wedding, but for him to get away, not only did he punch Lenor in the face, which is wild, but for him to kill a lord at a wedding,
Right.
like
Yeah.
obviously we know like authority figures can get away with shit like that all the time, so they just have to come up with like a really fake ass excuse for it. And I definitely could see this being the fake ass excuse that they use for it.
Well, they're
I
gonna have
don't
to use something.
Yeah, they're gonna have to use something, but I mean, I don't think Rhaenyra is gonna go for that. Like, or maybe she goes for it because they have blackmail on her. Maybe,
Oh,
maybe they're gonna be like, we will tell them what you did. I
Right.
know what you did, and it.
If I'm going down, you're going down with me kind of situation. Which, I
yeah.
mean, I can see that happening, especially because now that Kristen has been burned, he's going to full 180 incel on her, and it's going to be, fuck you, you slut, you're not even pretty. You know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah.
he's going to go there now because
Yeah.
he's scorned, he's pissed.
It kind
So
of this next super chat. I'm so sorry from Wisdom Minari. Perfect. Hate Cole and Allison so much. Why she's so mad that Cole got the Targussy is some nasty bitterness for real. For real. Ray said, "I'm not giving up the crown for your oranges."
I mean, where's the lie? Like,
Yeah.
Allison is really, really, really bitter. Like, I get like she's angry. Rhaenyra lied to her, whatever. But like, why are you so concerned about her chastity and her virginity and what she's doing with her coochie? Because like,
Right.
look what happened to you because you didn't. You wanted to, not you wanted because you didn't want, but you let your father decide what he's going to do with you, and you followed all the rules and you obeyed your father like a good girl, and you hate your life. So she is saying, Rhaenyra is saying, I don't want that. I don't want that for me. And you're mad about it. And there was like a Twitter post that I seen, and it was like, hold on, what y'all continue while I find that tweet
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I think you tweeted it or
Probably. She honestly with Allison, I think is she thinks that she's the reason why her dad got fired because Rhaenyra lied. And it's like, and I think that's why she's holding this resentment over Rhaenyra because she didn't have any friends.
She didn't
Essentially, the only
lie,
person she had
though.
was her dad. And I personally, I don't think, like, I get what people are saying, like, oh, she said Damon didn't touch her. All right, first of all,
Right.
you guys know what Allison meant by touch her. He meant like sleep with her, which he didn't sleep with her. He kissed her,
Right.
and last time I checked, touching involves hands. So technically, in a
she
weird
knew what
roundabout way.
Allison knew. Allison
Right.
knew what Rhaenyra was insinuating that her maidenhead was intact because Damon didn't take it. She was insinuating she did
Right.
not fuck Damon. So the tweet that I was talking about is from ATL Polo, and it says Allison is the girl who got married and
Oh,
had
yes.
kids straight out of high
Yes.
school and is secretly jealous of all her friends that are having fun in college.
Yes.
So now she posts passive aggressive Facebook posts about being a wife and mom is the life.
Yes.
And I
I
was
saw
Yeah.
that
like,
one too. And I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, that's exactly correct. She's
That's
just
exactly who she is.
jealous. She's jealous because she's got this coxial bitch on her every night while she dissociates staring at the ceiling. And Rhaenyra's out here, bar hopping with her hot uncle and fucking the homie down the street. Like, she is jealous. She
Yeah.
has a life that she wants, and she just has, you know, Johnny Six Fingers and these little screaming kids.
Oh my god! And poor, I forgot to bring her up, but the fact they still haven't said Helena's name is slightly bothering me. But besides the point, the fact Helena is always crying when we see her is so heavy foreshadowing, and it makes me
Yes.
so sad.
Poor
Also, I noticed they definitely left the kids out of the wedding. Like the kids were not invited to the banquet.
No, absolutely not.
But I do want to get into this wedding because we still have a lot to talk about. So I just want to say
Say it,
where
girl.
is Vagar? Where
Say it.
is Vagar? Why was Vagar not in this scene? Lena has already claimed Vagar by this point. I am getting flustered that it seems like we're going to get, from the preview, one episode with Lena and Vagar as a
Yeah,
unit.
they're fucking us at this point.
And it's pissing me off. I just want to say that. I like everything else so far, but this little, I love Lena. We're not going to, I knew we weren't going to have much time with her, but I feel like they could have given us more, especially with the time jump. And it would have been so easy just to have her flying Vagar in this scene.
Right.
Like,
I thought that, like, the picture up at the top, I thought we were gonna see like Vagar's shadow like cover both those dragons, like her wingspan. And it's just like everything we know about Lena, there's no way she showed up to this wedding. There's no way she went to this wedding on one of her dad's ships. Like she was on Vagar. Anywhere that girl went, she was on Vagar.
Like
she wasn't
there should
on any of
be
these ships.
1, 2, 3, like a big mass in this corner right here.
Yes.
Vagar.
So in my head canon, Elena just got there a little bit later because Vagar had a little bit slower takeoff because she's old. And I think Miguel said like getting Vagar into the sky is hard because she needs like a lot of room to like run and take off. Like, but once she gets in the sky, she's a force to be reckoned with. But I just can't wait to see Vagar.
Yeah,
maybe because Vagar was so large, there was nowhere to park her.
That is very true.
They do say she can't fit in the dragon pit.
Right.
Like you have to leave Vagar at home.
She could have hung out somewhere else.
I mean, Vagar used to live over there, so I figured she could have found somewhere to go.
Vagar probably didn't want to go. She's probably like, I don't want to go over
circled
there.
a lot a couple times with her at the wedding.
Vagar was like, who all gonna be there? I'm not going.
What's looking like? Because we gotta be sure.
Where's Balerion? Balerian's going. Oh no, I ain't going.
I heard Balerion died over there. I'm all set, actually.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, speaking of the wedding, so we get at the dais, we see Rhaenyra and Viserys, and they're receiving some guests. So I like to call this the somewhat hater slide. Besides my boy right here, my two boys right here, these two. Everybody else in this slide don't like. But
did y'all see how Beesbury got the fuck out of there?
Oh my god.
He was like, oh, I'm out.
He's low-key my favorite minor character so far. You just gotta pay attention for Beesbury. So if you guys don't know what we're talking about, Beesbury is this gentleman right here that sits on the council. He's just so funny.
All the way
so funny.
All the way to the right. All the way to the right. That's
right,
Beesbury. Top right.
Him. He's so funny. So we have Sir Harold Westerling, the Lord Commander. He's kind of serving as the herald. So he's just announcing when the lords are arriving. So we get this big proclamation. Jason and Tywin Lannister, yada, yada, yada. And then Hobart Hightower, blah, 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 which is funny that the ops got called in first. But then we also get the announcement of Sir Gerald I'll say Runestone. Sir Gerald Royce.
Of Runestone.
Of Runestone, the cousin of Lady Rhea. And I feel like this is kind of when he was going to drop the accusation, because they start offering their sympathies for the passing of Lady Rhea, but the entrance happens.
Yes.
We know what happened. Can I just say their entrance into the hall, from the trailers, it was always my favorite clip, but actually seeing it in the episode, the music, the big proclamation, the announcement, just the way they all walk in, so boss like. It was
so beautiful.
It was so awesome. Their costumes, the brocade, it's just gorgeous. They look so I just love House Velaryon. If it wasn't obvious by now.
No, and when the doors opened and you see them like framed by the door in the hall that they came down, it was like it looked powerful.
Yeah.
They
It
looked
did.
powerful.
I've always liked the sea snake. Like he's always
Mhm.
been one of my like top 5 favorite characters because
Same.
he's self-made. Like he rebuilt his house
Yes.
from the ground up. Like
Yes.
he built a ship and he took that ship and sailed it around the world.
And then
brought
became
all
the
riches
richest man in Westeros.
and became the richest man in Westeros. And like he's just super fucking badass and he's always been on the right side of history.
Yeah. And married the
Exactly.
woman that should have been queen, and they together have beautiful, also powerful children. Like
Yeah.
they're the it family.
And they say
It-
Lena's just like him. Like
Mhm.
Yes.
Lena's just like her dad, except for swap his ship for a dragon, and that's Lena.
Right. I love that.
And I love her.
I
I
love
love her.
so much.
And she was just so great to watch. Even the very minimal screen time we have with her, she just exuded that boss bitch energy. And I was just all the way here for all of it. Like, she is that chick. Like, I like her. And even like Lenor was looking pretty dapper. Like, when they like go up to each other and like, my betrothed, my betrothed. I was like, this is like super cute. And I already know
And I
things
felt
are
like we
gonna
were
go
in Bridgerton
bad.
for a moment.
A little bit, yeah. I could
Like
see that.
the plan, a good plan. And
I'm sorry, you
the
cut out a
plan.
second.
Oh, the plan that Lenor and Rhaenyra had, it was such a good plan. Like
Mm-hmm.
it just
Well,
got
and
to see
it
it get
would have
ruined.
worked because they're both committed to it.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's sad.
It is. Like, I really
Unfortunate.
loved his costume. I actually, before we get more into this wedding, I do want to say, address a couple of super chats. Thank you, Thomas Robinson. I liked Cole before the wedding and felt bad for him. Then after the wedding, I was like, nope, I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where I
Yeah.
was too.
I was kind of like, I thought he was out of his damn mind when he asked her to run away, but I understood why he did it. But at the same time, like, what?
Did you guys see the tweet that someone said? He really asked her to go be poor with him, and she's like, "Honey, this platinum silk press doesn't take care of itself."
Right.
No, seriously, it really doesn't. Like, who else is going to keep up with my hair, sir? Like, do you see this? Yeah, no, I feel that. And then we had another one from Kylo Tech. The correct answer to a royal Westerosi wedding invite is always no. And I agree with that. So question for you guys. Gray, I kind of already know your answer because you kind of gave it away with your breakdown video. So I've been seeing, obviously we know we have the red wedding, we have the purple wedding. I've been seeing debate on what color people are calling this wedding. So I've seen some people call it the green wedding because of this. But I don't know. What do you guys take on it?
I was calling it the white wedding.
Yeah, I like
because
the
she
white
had
wedding.
a white dress, Kristen Cole's white cloak, and a whole bunch of crazy white folk. So white wedding. But like, yeah, I was calling it the white wedding really because of her dress and because Christian Cole's Crispin.
Yes.
Crispin's soiled white cloak. So I was calling it the
Right.
white wedding.
Okay, yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
I think I like white wedding. Because when you put it that way, because I understood why people were saying like green wedding, but with that being
We
said,
not about to call Rhaenyra's wedding the green wedding. They can get the fuck out of here with that shit. Who made that up? A green.
Probably. Actually, no, we'll put a poll in the chat to see what you guys think. What color would you guys call the wedding?
We
So you
cannot
guys got
call
to decide.
Rhaenyra's wedding the green wedding. That is awful. That is slander.
I like the way you said it's slender. I mean, I get both. I get it. All right. You guys let us know in the chat. There's a poll in there so you guys can vote. But in the meantime, we get some entrances, I was say some entrances. So we get some entrances. We have hold on. I jumped a little bit further ahead. We get everybody's favorite. We have this lovely announcement like, oh, the House Velarion's here. And then right after House Velaryon arrives, who shows up? But Uncle Zaddy's
the one that's always coming back from exile every episode.
Every
Guess what,
episode.
bitches?
Can't get rid of me, bitch. That's how he pops up.
Every single time. Oh my gosh, I thought I had it pulled up here, guys. I am so sorry. I was just like looking. I was like, whoa. Where's my Daemon photo?
Uncle Damon?
And it's crazy because it's literally just sitting somewhere else. Just kidding, guys. My bad. But Uncle Daemon walked in, and we see him.
Disrespect.
I know. I literally had the perfect photo of him, like while he's in the doorway too. Kind of sad I forgot it. My bad, guys. I'm sorry. But I do like when he walks in all unannounced. They do not herald his name or anything.
No,
he just pulls up. No one moves. No one claps. No one.
And he's just smiling. He's just grinning.
Like mad goofy.
Hey, brother. He doesn't even say shit. Viserys just nods, like, get him a chair before he makes a
Sit
scene.
down, shut up. God.
Which goes to show you he wasn't invited to begin with.
Right.
Yeah.
No, he wasn't.
Like, Daemon was not invited at all.
No,
but
he was supposed to be in the Vale.
We just got a super chat from Ejovi, and they said, was Daemon even invited? LOL. No.
Daemon was not invited at all. Daemon was not invited whatsoever. Daemon just decided Daemon was going to pull up and be like, oh, wait, so y'all thought you was going to have this wedding without me? Like, we really thought that, like, y'all were going to have this family affair without me?
The most important member of the family? The hell is wrong with you?
Like, y'all are so goofy. But what I thought was
After
interesting.
I've just lost my lady wife, y'all banned me from the wedding.
Right? I'm in mourning. Oh my God. He's like, I'm in mourning. I'm so bereft. I was like, I hate you. Stop it. I love him. He's such a piece of crap.
And then he walks up to Lena like, single, ready to make you single. Come on. And he's such a slut.
Somebody on Twitter was like, wherever Daemon goes, he's like, I'm going to create the most toxic environment ever.
He really does, though. Like, why is he like this? But what kills me, all right.
It's so relatable.
It is. So what gets me, right? So everybody talks about, it's been talking about Alicent's big entrance in the middle of the King's Speech. I just want to say, if Viserys had just waited for her to be seated, because she was the only one that wasn't seated yet or arrived, and Jason Lannister had just asked about her, like, oh, where's the queen? And he's like, oh, she's getting ready. Sir, why didn't you wait for her to arrive before you started your speech? Like, she just came like 2 seconds after.
I think she was waiting for it.
He probably
I think she did that
her
shit
to
on
just not come.
Yeah, I think she did that shit. I think she did on purpose.
Yeah, she's like waiting outside the door listening for him to start talking.
And she's like, all right, cool, now's the time to.
And then Larys's goofy ass, while she's walking up, he's like, hey, you know what color the light at the top of the high tower is? It's green. She's like, shut up.
Oh, when they call their
banners to war.
You fucking geek.
He is such a geek for that.
He is. He's
but
goofy.
I like it. But I do think this is obviously a deliberate choice because we have seen her wearing like the Targaryen colors in the past few episodes.
Yes, definitely a political statement.
This was definitely a political statement. Blue. Yeah, and then that blue dress. But this was definitely a political statement where she's saying like, I am a high tower. You know what I mean? Like, even though my dad's not here, I'm still representing for my house, but also a signal to her house and like her supporters. Like, you know, I'm not gonna, just because my dad's not here, I'm not gonna back down. I'm still gonna stand for our claim. Right. LOL.
Well, and Uncle Hobo was there too. So she was like, that could have been a little signal to him. Like, hey, look, green.
Yeah. I think it was because he definitely does say to her like, oh, you know, House Hightower is with you, and I thought you'd withered away, but here you are, standing strong, blah blah blah. Like, shut
Right.
up.
Right? Like, get the fuck out of here.
I don't like Uncle Hobo. And we're calling him Uncle Hobo from now on. But I
Yeah.
do think this dress is gorgeous, though. This dress is a very beautiful dress, and I think a lot of people are gonna make some really nice cosplays out of it.
Yeah,
Uh,
it is. It is pretty.
yeah, it
It is
beats.
pretty, but like
She looks
it's
amazing.
your stepdaughter's wedding. It's your bestie's wedding. I know y'all just had a tiff, but don't why you trying to upstage her at the welcome feast? Chill out, but whatever, go off.
Yeah, like, I guess, do you, boo boo?
I agree with Wisdom and Ari's super chat. People on Twitter defending Allison's dress colors, shaking my head as if these aren't literally gang colors. She's flying at a wedding. She's telling
Oh my
everyone.
God.
She's telling everyone exactly where her loyalty is. Pretty dress though.
It is a pretty dress, though. I also wanted to I totally agree. I wanted to do a quick shout out. Speaking of super chats from Shane52911, GrayArea was like, if you get the fuck out of my face with that BS to Simpin Cole. And I agree. This was regarding the conversation on the boat. And
Yes.
yeah, no, he was but I definitely I'm still screaming at this. That definitely was her like flying gang colors.
Yeah.
Also, what Mala Firebringer, thanks for the super chat. Allison was speaking straight violence with the stepdaughter comment. Oh, sorry, that stepdaughter comment. She was trying to catch hands. No, she definitely was being very passive aggressive. She definitely was posting those Facebook statuses. Like, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Trevor Jones, the real reason Damon didn't stand for Allison was because he was bitter she upstaged him. I agree.
No, I don't agree.
I also agree because he doesn't like her, but
he didn't stand for her because he doesn't recognize her as anybody but Allison fucking Hightower. Like,
Right.
he's the blood of old Valyria. He's a Targaryen prince, dragon rider.
Right.
His niece is who he supports.
No, if it's not his brother or his niece, you're not going to get a modicum of respect out of Daemon fucking Targaryen.
No, you're not. And he sat the fuck down and like, yeah, I don't know. I think he was like, I think the fuck now. I don't know who this bitch thinks she is coming into my niece's wedding with this green shit on. I wish I would stand up. That's Daemon. Like, that's Daemon.
Can I just say what I thought was super funny is Lena, when Damon like sat there, Lena started making eyes like, oh.
Yeah, she was twisting them shoulders too.
She was like, well, hey.
Body
What's
language.
about? She definitely was into it. She was into it. Let's like start getting into, so we have that lovely dance sequence between Rhaenyra and Lenor, which kind of reminded me of Avatar: The Last Airbender a little bit. If you know, you know. But I like their like even like little conversation between them when she's like, I'm not really good at dancing, and he's like, oh, it's like fighting, and like he's just trying to reassure her, and it's like this marriage was going to start off so good. It was starting off so good for like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
They make the perfect couple. Like, on the outside looking in, they look like a perfect couple.
Right.
They do. And it's like they have this great relationship. Like, they seem to have like a nice trust with one another. They're open. They respect each other's, wants and desires. They understand the nature of why they're together. And it's just so sad that people had to ruin that for them.
Yes.
But before that,
I don't think crispy coleslaw really fucked them over.
Oh yeah, he
crispy coleslaw.
Yeah, he did. He's such a bum.
They could have, everything could have been so fucking smooth.
Crisp and Cocoa. I'm never gonna call him Christian Cole.
He's such a little twat. But
I feel like I hear Stannis in my head every time I call him Crispin. Like, stop. Whatever the man is, he is a knight.
Like, he'd be alright. But
Snitch and Cole.
I saw that snitch on Cole.
Snitch on Cole.
He really is. But we do get like what I did like in the wedding sequence. Obviously, we have this budding romance kind of kicking off, but we do see Rhaenyra in the background kind of making side eyes like, ooh. I know you ain't over there talking to some other girl. Like, I know you ain't doing that. but you get all these cool interactions with like lovers, potential lovers, past lovers, and I like the setup. I feel like it was a nice like if you know, you know.
Yeah.
Because we kind of see them even in like interchange with each other, like the partners and stuff like that, which I think is such a like I thought it was a cool idea that they did that. I like the sequence when you have all of these like big set pieces of people together.
When are we gonna get to spoilers? I feel like a little kid. Like, are we almost there yet?
We're almost there yet. So we get this, and I just want to talk about my favorite line of the episode.
I know what it is.
Yeah, you see him over there. He's totally cunt struck. Look at them laughing at him. Look at him.
Cunt struck, aka pussy whipped.
I'm so using that. I'm so using that going forward. I have to. Like, that was just a perfect thing.
Yes. He's totally cunt struck.
He is. And the fact that that's what I was saying earlier, like Joffrey is very, very observant. Like he picked up, like, okay, it's him, which was a bold move, but he was right. He was right. So while this, like, before shit really pops off, he just thinks it's a good idea to go up to. Look at his face, though. He just looks so upset, and he's like, "Hey, bro."
Someone said he looks like Christopher from The Sopranos, and now I can't unsee it.
Oh,
Every
shit,
time
yeah,
I
he
see him,
does.
especially making that face, I'm. He's so
He really
fucking
does.
salty.
Yeah.
It's how he looks after Adriana gets bashed. He's just like.
I think that it's interesting that Joffrey picks up that Christian Cole is cunt struck, and he knows none of the situation that happened.
Exactly, which is crazy. He's just like, oh, vibes.
Right.
Edric said Crispin couldn't take that constructive criticism. Y'all are stupid.
No, he really couldn't have. No, that is hilarious. But I feel so bad because obviously I'm assuming this conversation is kind of what pushed him over because he's already feeling like super guilty about what he did for some reason.
Right.
Then he tells
And
Allison.
How else would Joffrey know? He doesn't know that Joffrey's just super intuitive.
Yeah.
Like, he's like, okay, so now this bitch is just telling everybody
that we did it.
Yeah. So now he's like, but I mean, you told someone too, so shut the fuck up still. Like, still fuck you. But
exactly.
I don't know.
And it's, yeah. And before, like, obviously, before this escalates, I just want to point out this scene right here was freaking hilarious. Their faces.
They already know they know David killed that girl.
They know David killed that girl. And their faces are like, you so messy. Like, you're so messy.
He's talking to David, and David's like, what? What?
He's like, actually, I think I should go to the earring and make my claim. What do you think?
I hope I'll see you, sir. He was like, people in King's Landing answer for accusation, even bronze cunts. Like he just doesn't give a fuck. That's why I like him.
But he would absolutely turn around if someone called him on it, and he would absolutely be the guy that's like, I am in mourning. What is wrong with you?
He did. He's like, I'm bereft. I was like, shut up. And then continuing Damon being a messy bitch, we get this scene right here. And I do want to point out the super chat that this kind of relates to the scene. Thank you, Christina. When Rhaenyra spoke High Valyrian to Daemon, do you think she actually wanted him to cut down all the Kingsguard and sail her away to Dragonstone? Yeah, I actually do, because Rhaenyra is just mad horny. Like,
yeah,
absolutely.
I think so too. Because with Christian Cole, she was just like, no, I'm not gonna do that. Are you crazy? And with Daemon, she's like, cut through all of my father's guards and steal me to Dragonstone.
Right, because he's still mystery dick.
Yeah.
Exactly. He doesn't know.
And she does love her uncle. She does love him.
Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
They've been
And that
doing this dance for years now.
they have been. And what gets me is, so in the middle of all this, Viserys peeps what they're doing and is about to literally shit his fucking pants. And then all hell
He's
breaks
about to drop
loose.
another finger.
Yes. And then all hell breaks loose. You hear a shriek and all sorts of kerfuffling happening. We see a
Yes.
knife gets pulled out. Obviously, Sir Kristen is beating the
No,
brakes off
Chrissy
of
Cokehead
Joffrey.
is going for it. Like he is.
He's like blacked out.
Yes.
Yeah,
he's
Like,
absolutely
not for
blackout.
nothing. I don't know if you guys have ever been through heartbreak, but if you like say you just broke up with somebody that you loved and your heart is broken, the last fucking thing you want to do is go to work. Like you want to call out that day, but the Kingsguard can't call out. And not only is he going to work, he's going to the girl who scorned him's wedding. So
Right.
like
Your job is to protect her as she marries someone else.
yeah, I do feel kind of
Exactly.
bad for him. Like human. I feel bad for that aspect that he has to like go to work after just getting his heart broke. And it's not even regular
His
work.
head
Like,
looked like taco meat.
yeah, it looked like
It did.
a Crunchwrap Supreme, a Gordita.
I was gonna say what
He
gets
looked
me.
like a drop burrito.
He really did. And Alisha had brought it up when we were on History of Westeros on Saturday. When you juxtapose the scene with Rhaenyra killing the boar, like it's them just both getting out their pent up frustrations.
Mm-hmm.
And he essentially just brutalizes poor Sir Joffrey. And then Lenor tries to help him out. And then Kristen not only throws him off, but then punches him in the face. Like, how the heck did he get that one off? Like, you literally punched the future king consort in the face. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know how they are going to navigate that because in the book, Sir Kristen Cole does kill Joffrey, but it's like during a tourney where people die at
Right.
tourneys
Exactly.
It's supposed to
all
be
the
this
time.
week, but during
Yeah.
the tourney portion of it, not at like the opening dinner.
exactly.
Yeah. So he was supposed to die, but like to die at the opening feast because a fist fight broke out. And like Joffrey Lonmouth is like a lord, of Stormlands, I think. House
Yeah.
Lonmouth. And like he's a nobleman. So for you to kill not only a nobleman in the king's hall where he's there under the king's protection, and not only that, he's the king, he's the future king consort's like lover. Like that's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, you're
I
going to have to
think
do
the
some real
super chat from
gymnastics.
earlier. I think the super chat from earlier was right. They're going to have to come up with a very convincing reason as to
Yeah.
why Krispy Kreme had to kill him.
Let's just call him different things every time.
I'm going to every time.
I like it.
It's been
Can I
something
just
different.
say, throughout all this tragedy, the best part for me was this. After Lionel gives him that like head nod, and then he just fireman carries Rhaenyra out of there. I was like, some girls get all the luck.
I just say, like, in the gray area over on my channel and on Direwolf City went for my 1/4 part. Break Bones, Hive.
Yes.
Love Break Bones.
Harwin Himbo Hive. I am the Harwin Himbo Hive president. I love him.
Like, give me some more Break Bones. Let him break my bones, please.
I like him so much. Honestly, if I like in my head canon like to imagine she gave him the Targusi that very night. Like that very night, she was just like, "No what?" Because we know Lenor wasn't gonna do anything. Because
Oh, poor Lenor.
He couldn't even kiss her. Like he's just lost like the love of
bro, this
He
I'm
was
not gonna linger on this too
distraught.
longer because this is pretty graphic. But oh, sorry, oops, jumped ahead. But this, like, look at him crying. He couldn't even, like you said, he couldn't even kiss her because he was so sad.
distraught.
Yeah.
Poor Lenor.
And the fact that they had it in the same room, like you guys couldn't pick a different room,
Right?
This big ass castle.
Like y'all could have really just got married in their bedroom or something.
Yeah, can you throw some paper
Anywhere.
towels over that? Like, really?
Yeah, do it in front of Balerian's skull, like something, dude. Like I don't. Why are we here? Of all places. And you could see they're both really upset by it. Like they didn't want it to happen this way. This is not what they
Right.
expected. And she feels for Lenor because she can see how hurt he is. And she's hurt that
Right.
he's because like it's her lover that did this.
Yes.
And I think she knows why. Like he was just being as
Yeah.
the super chat from Wisdom Minari said, Cole had the I just caught the stomach flu hater face on all night. Even Joffrey hadn't said anything. He definitely would have tried to unalive himself soon. That is possible. I feel like him killing Joffrey
He's so toxic.
kind of was the
suicide by cop shit.
Yeah,
Mhm.
as we saw like the scene where he is in the Godswood, and he does that same thing kind of like that you brought up earlier, Mandy, where he puts down the white cloak and looks at it. I do want to say a quick little shout out to Kevin from the Bat Productions. Later needed to get a used to disappointment, so might as well start at the nuptials. Yeah, good point. But if you guys don't know, Kevin has his own YouTube channel that covers House of the Dragon and some other great A Song of Ice and Fire stuff. So definitely check him out if you guys haven't already. But yeah, we have this scene with Alicent. We kind of talked about this a little bit earlier, how she kind of comes in and is like, Mother's mercy. And he's just like, Mommy, I don't want to be a bad guy. I want to be your sworn sword. Like, shut up.
Allison's like, come to me, suck on these teats. I have mother's milk for you. I don't I actually did used to think that they were sexual. I don't think that anymore.
I think maybe after Viserys dies, maybe. But
I kind of think that Alicent's gonna be like, I don't ever want another man to touch me.
That's what I think too.
That too, like she's gonna like dive really deep in her face.
No, she's gonna have big time PTSD from getting fucked by
from
that.
being Viserys's baby making machine. Because what did she give him? Like 4 kids.
Yep.
Right.
Which is crazy. Like in his state, he's gonna still pop out 2 more children on her.
Right.
But,
like as of right now, he still has 2 more to go.
Yeah.
No,
I want to get to this.
I think she's gonna lean into her faith. And I think because in the books she is kind of a pious twat, like she kind of is.
Yeah.
And I think Kristen is going to lean into that because of not only his guilt, but the forgiveness that Alicent has given him. It's going to make him like lean into that faith as well.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree. Before we get into this last shot, which we're gonna let the spoiler clip fly, I want to address the super chat. So after the super chat, you guys have been warned. From Emily Christina, that scene gave me Renly and Loras vibes. That's a scene between. I was thinking the same thing with just briefly showing it. It's there, it's gone. Excuse what we were talking about, but I got the same feeling of Loras not wanting to leave Renly's body, and it's so sad that they have to do this to him.
Yeah.
I do like though that we are getting more depth with Lenor than we did with Renly and Loras.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because there's a lot more depth to their relationship, even just the quiet moment that they were talking alone. It was more like intimate, I guess, where with Loras and Renly it was always more like superficially like, yeah, they're good buddies, and then they would kiss and it would be like, oh no, yeah, that's right, they're in love. But with this it's more like intimate moments between partners, where the other one was almost like well, maybe they're not. And this is just, they're fleshing out the character more, and I really appreciate that because I think they did Loras and Renly really dirty.
I agree. I just want to say, guys, again, we are going into spoiler territory right now. If you've been hanging with us, we appreciate it. If you don't want spoilers, now is the time. You're still here? Cool. Y'all, the final shot.
Yeah.
Blood and cheese foreshadowing.
Blood and cheese.
These rats, there's so many. They keep showing all the rats, and I'm like, oh, they're setting this rat catcher up so early. they're like just showing like abracadabra. To answer your question, book spoilers are TV. We're talking about the TV, not the TV. I'm sorry,
Well, the
book
book.
spoilers.
We haven't
The
seen
Book
any
spoilers
episodes.
that's going to take place on
Yeah,
the
we
TV.
haven't seen any
Yeah.
episodes past episode 5.
So both,
Exactly.
I guess.
Yeah, but yeah. So they're laying on this blood and cheese thick. It's thick. I
Yes.
feel like each episode they keep alluding to it. So I'm starting to think we're getting it maybe episode 2 opener, if not like second episode of season 2.
Yeah. And I think that we might even get something sooner than that, where people start commenting on the rats,
Yeah.
and maybe just a brush off comment about like, oh, we need to get more rat catchers, or we need a rat catcher, something to that effect. And then it's going to be like completely innocuous to people that don't know what's coming.
I think Joe Magician has a theory that Larry Strong is actually warging the rats, or like skin changing the rats, and that's how he's
Ew.
being all seeing. Yes.
I don't like that. That's gross.
I don't even know if that's the exact theory, but watch his video, I guess.
I mean,
Yeah. I'm just like,
he
of all
kind of
animals
is
to
a
pick,
fucking rat, but still,
yeah.
ew.
He kind of looks like Peter Pettigrew a little bit from Harry
Laris.
Potter. Yeah, a little
Laris
bit.
is Master Splinter confirmed.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not too crazy about that. I just think he just has a really good spy network, like Varys did, and
Yeah.
that this is definitely blood and cheese foreshadowing. But
Yes.
so getting kind of into what's to come, since we did get some, some teasers, we are unfortunately saying goodbye to a few of the younger actors after this episode as of now.
Did a magnificent job.
Yes.
Yes.
So Millie Alcock, the actress that plays Rhaenyra, Emily Carey that plays Alicent, Savannah Stein that plays Lena, and Theo Nate that played Lenor. They're all, as of now, leaving. Hopefully we get some flashbacks with them. I hope. Like I really hope so. But
Yeah,
that's
I hope
to
we
be
get them
seen.
in some flashbacks too. If they don't, like, I don't think it's really going to hurt much of the story. They could continue without flashbacks, but I think the flashbacks would not only be a good reference for timelines
Yeah.
for people who are strictly show watchers, which they are catering a lot to show watchers, which I like. They're breaking down things in a very comprehensible way. I think the flashbacks would give them like a sense of time and when things occurred. And I think it would be just good to tie the continuity all together, but I don't think it's necessary going forward. I would
I
like
agree.
it, but they can do without it.
I would love it just to fill in some of these gaps. Like, for example, one of the slight gaps we're gonna get. Oh, where did it go? Where did it go?
Now,
We
filling
see
in the gaps is great because we do have, like, I think, like MJ said earlier, we have 10 years of a lot of shit happening. So
like
flashbacks here and there filling in those gaps, absolutely.
yeah, that's what I would like more so, filling in those gaps, because I didn't get the lower version of it, but Rhaenyra is expecting in this shot. And this would be her
Right.
third child she's expecting.
That's
so
Joff.
she already has, so this is baby Joff in her belly. So she had 2 other
Right.
children in this time frame.
Right.
That they do remark on their hair coloring. We also get, speaking of people that are expecting, Lena's also clearly expecting while she's holding one of the twins. This is either Bela or Raina.
I think it's Raina.
Mm-hmm.
Because Raina always has that egg with her everywhere she fucking goes.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't even see the egg right there. That makes a lot of sense. So for those that don't know, again, like we said, this is spoiler Terry. Lena and Damon in that 10-year time frame get married and have twin girls.
They get married and then go on exile again.
Yeah.
They go to Essos, to the Free Cities, and they live there for a bit. What is it, in Pentos?
So they go to Pentos, Volantis, Norvos, and Cahor, if I'm not mistaken. Right. And she ends up having the twins in Pentos.
In Pentos, right.
I really hope they do Volantis, or
We get to see
Norvos
some of it.
and not Pentos. Like if they do Pentos, cool, but like please fucking do Volantis.
Yeah, because we've already been to
Yeah.
Pentos in like the first show, but I really can't wait to see. I'm so sad. Like this is so if you guys don't know, this is Lena and Vagar. Look how big Vagar is. Like the fact we haven't seen her yet is really making me upset.
I know.
What are those strings, guys, in the chat? What are those like strings on Vagar?
So some of us have voted for skin tags.
Are they skin tags? Are they like reins? Are they like I don't know what they are. It almost looks like she has dreads. Like the Predator.
A little bit, yeah.
I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Oh, so quick little update from our poll earlier for what color should we name the wedding. It's almost split. It's 58% voted white and 41% of you guys voted for green. So
what?
yes, it was very, very close. It's a very close
41% voted to name Rhaenyra's wedding the green wedding?
Yeah.
Allison's dress was cute, but it was not all that.
Well, I mean, the white still won the white wedding one at the end of the day. On our for Direwolf City.
I was not expecting it to be that close.
Me either.
I kind of did. I kind of did because I seen a lot of traction with the green wedding, but once you explained, like I like the white wedding for obviously the color of Sir Kristen Cole's cloak getting sullied, Rhaenyra's dress, House Velaryon having a white seahorse.
41% of his chat the ops.
Well, real talk. He said Vagar has locks. I'm gonna die. Well, they do say Vagar has a beard. Well, they say a dragon has a beard. One of them has a beard, and it's most likely Vagar. Yeah, I wanted it to be not Quicksilver, Vermithor, but I don't think it's gonna be I think it's gonna be Vagar.
Oh, I kind of wanted it to be Vermithor. In my heart, it could still be Vermithor. Maybe both of them have beards.
Just a hoary old bitch.
Yeah,
I know Vagar has like a turkey neck,
which I love.
She's got a little waddle.
Got the little jowls going. I like that for her. She's such a cutie.
Old.
She's old. We have a super chat from Miss T. Can the hair color be explained better? Because dark hair is dominant, correct? If so, explain why the queen's children have platinum hair. Heart live chat. That is a great
take
question. All right, you got that. You got it.
So the Hightowers actually have like an auburn hair, and dark hair is only really prominent in House Baratheon. Like we see Rhaenys Targaryen actually has black hair with like a couple silver streaks in it. Like the silver still comes through. But when you look at how strong the literal whole setup behind Robert Baratheon, the seed is strong, is like a big pun to how potent the strong genes are. How strong all of them look the same. They have pug noses and brown hair.
Look like Sir Duncan.
Yeah, essentially.
I think he's of how strong.
Which that gene also continues on through Brienne, because aside from the hair color, she has the same features as House Strong.
Yeah, they're like big as fuck.
But it's taken generations and generations to get even to the point where her hair is lighter.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Alicent, the Hightowers are supposed to have like a reddish brown hair, I think.
Right. Yeah. And even when with some of like let's say like the marriages between the Dornish and Targaryens, not like
like Valar.
Yeah, so like
baby Aegon.
Yeah, I'll say baby Aegon looks more like traditional Valerian, but his Valerian and his sister Rhaenys looks more Targaryen. Dornish. But then you got like Baelor. Yeah, but then you got like Baelor Breakspear versus his siblings, like Maekar. You know what I mean? Like they both have Dornish moms, but only one looks Dornish.
Right.
typically
And then
do in this show.
Valar took it even a step further, and he had the same kind of hair almost as Rhaenys, where it was black
Yeah.
and silver.
Yeah. Baratheons are like black hair, and then Strongs are like, are they black hair or like dark brown?
Dark
It's
brown.
brown. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so those two houses, like, for sure always follow the Strong gene or the Baratheon gene.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
think we've seen any Baratheon that's come from that doesn't have black hair.
Except
No.
Rhaenys, but that's because I think they were just doing it to simplify for the show.
Yeah, in the books she has black hair.
Yeah.
Right.
But she also has silver in it. Like she
Yep.
has like two
Right.
silver
She
streaks.
does have the silver streaks,
like
I
a
said,
skunk.
like Valar does.
Yeah. And as I say, speaking of kids, we are going to meet teen Aegon finally.
Timothy Chalamet in a bad wig.
House
Yeah, essentially.
Slytherin.
Gang, we out here.
Slytherin.
You know what's up. And then we're also meeting this little shit soon.
You know you love
Aemond.
him.
I do
Don't
love him.
even.
I love him so much. That's my baby, guys. I love Aemond. He's such a little bad kid, and it's gonna be great to watch him. But I feel like
That's
we've been
not
going
Vagar, is it?
this. I think in this particular shot, I think it's maybe Dreamfire,
Yeah, I don't think it's Vagar. It's too small.
because I believe Dreamfire is the ancestor of Drogon, Rhaegal, and Viserion, and the dragon he encounters in that first sequence looks a lot like them.
Dreamfire's like technically their mom or dad, right?
Yeah. So eventually for you guys, Aemon does eventually claim Vagar. I just think he attempts maybe another dragon first. And that's what this might be. But I'll say we've been going for quite a while. Any like final thoughts before we wrap up for the night?
Final thoughts is it's about to get really fiery and bloody over the next 3 episodes.
And they need to stop edging us with Vagar.
I agree.
Mike asked who rides Sunfire. Aemon.
Aemon.
I mean, Aegon.
Oh, yes. Yeah,
Aegon.
The one that was just in the picture that looked like Draco
Aegon,
Malfoy. That one.
Yes.
And I think we're going to Sunfire very soon, too, since he's a teenager.
I hope so. I'm more excited to see the dragons than I am to see these little motherfuckers grow up.
Oh, same. We do have one last super chat before we head out for the night from Christina. Hope this question isn't too much of a spoiler. Do we know if the fathers of Jace, Luke, and Joff died in the same year, and how will it happen?
So, they all have the same daddy.
Yeah.
She's not like Rhaenyra's not like sleeping with every fucking man.
Yeah, she's not passing it
Dragonstone.
She's
just finding someone that she
has
loves
a side piece
and rocking with them. So yeah, so it's Harwin Breakbones, the guy that carried her out of the wedding. That's the father of all 3 of her kids.
Yeah, he's gonna, break her bones later. LOL.
Him. That's her baby daddy.
Look at that. They're going off to the bed chamber right now to go make little Jace.
They had the wedding. Now it's time for the bedding.
Exactly. It's just a different bedding. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us. If you guys haven't, you guys can always check out Gray's episode 5 breakdown, which is in the description down below. If you guys haven't done that already, please do.
Can I answer one question before we dip?
Oh, yes, of course.
Dread Shinobi. I thought Alyssa Farman was already gone with the dragon eggs. She is, but they were Dreamfire's eggs, and Dreamfire's still there.
Yeah. So those eggs have...
Alyssa Farman was a generation and a half before this.
Exactly. So yeah, the eggs are already on the other side of the world, but the parent of said eggs is still lingering around and should be seen. But yeah, also if you guys check out my channel, which is at @IEatZebra on the YouTubes, I'm gonna have a video kind of going over some of the stuff we just talked about, but what's probably gonna happen during that 10-year jump that we're gonna miss. So if you guys subscribe there, hit that bell, you'll be alerted when it comes out. But yeah, as always, like and subscribe to us, share, spread the word. I know I'm not speaking for the whole group here, but kind of. Thank you guys for your continued support with our channel. It has been continuing to grow like each week, and without you guys, it obviously wouldn't be possible. So I just want to say from us to you guys, thank you guys for hanging out with us. It's been awesome.
Thank you so much for your support. We
Yes,
really
thank
appreciate
you,
it more than you
guys.
know.
Thank you so much, guys. We love you so much.
Yeah, and if you guys could help us, get to our goal, which is to hit about at least 5,000 subscribers before the show ends. Right now, we're halfway there. We're a little over 2,500. So if you guys can get us to that other 2,500 in the next couple weeks, we might have a special surprise to announce. Just help us out. Ooh, surprises. But yeah, I guess that's it for tonight. Thank you guys again. We will see you guys next week. Yeah. Bye. It's weird 'cause I'm not on
Bye.
camera, so it's like I'm doing the things, guys. You just can't